Hello and welcome to the Overly Animated Podcast, where we take animation seriously. We talk everything animation here, including Miraculous Ladybug, which we'll be getting into right now. I'm Dylan Hysen, and today I'm joined by Delaney Stovall.
Hey, y'all.
And April Collins.
Hi there.
We're back talking Ladybug, the first new episode in quite a while, and we're extremely excited to talk about the New York special entitled Miraculous World, New York - United Heroes with a capital Z, that aired on, premiered, shockingly in the Disney Channel in the United States, yesterday night. And
when they said it would.
When they said it would, yeah. I mean, they had the countdown to the French airing, and that held, and they even added the U.S. airing a day before. It was wonderful. It went up on Disney Now the morning before, which shouldn't have surprised me considering that happens to all Disney shows, but did. I didn't know it applied to Ladybug too, but yes, we have the Ladybug hour-long special to talk about. Make sure you've seen Miraculous World in New York. It's very exciting. We're going to talk about a lot of things. We're anticipating a big podcast here. So we're going to have spoilers right away for Miraculous World New York. I'll give a caveat before, if you're wondering about what airing to look out for. And, find all of our Ladybug podcasts at overlyanimated.com. We've been covering Ladybug since the beginning. Search Overly Animated Miraculous Ladybug anywhere you find your podcasts, and our YouTube is youtube.com/overlyanimated. Only caveat I want to give is there's been some confusion about the version that we got on the Disney Channel. The voices sounded off to a lot of people, and me included. I believe I don't really 100% know what happened, but believe the version that aired on the Disney Channel, at least initially, was longer, was slowed down. I tweeted Thomas, he said it was supposed to be 59 minutes, and the version there in Disney Channel was 63 minutes. So, I don't know. Apparently Disney might be airing the correct speed on reruns, and they might have elongated it to fit the time slot. My third viewing of this, I watched it on 1.07x speed, and it did sound a little more normal. So if you have the ability to watch it on 1.07x speed, only if you have the version that aired initially on the Disney Channel. It's also the version that was on Disney Now. So that's my understanding of the situation. But, I don't know what's up with that. You'd think if we get an official Disney Channel premiere, we wouldn't have, issues with the airing, but it's Ladybug. Okay.
That's such a precise, slowdown.
Well, I did the math dividing the 63 by
good.
Yeah. It still sounded a little weird. So I don't think it works exactly like that. I think it's depending how they encode it or something. I don't really know. Anyway. Okay. Regardless though, the version that aired it was complete, and, it was mostly normal, right? Like everyone basically sounded normal. So we're working on, I think still a pretty good, version. We're talking the English dub here. The French, original also did air after the English dub. So, you might have seen that, but, I don't believe we have seen that. Let's talk the New York special. So much to get into. So let's start off with some quick reactions you had at the time and your overall thoughts on it, Delaney.
I loved it. I was blown away. I feel like this is kind of what we've been waiting for with Ladybug. We're 3 seasons in, and it felt like a payoff. I watched season 1 of Ladybug so that I could be here.
How different is this than season 1 of Ladybug, right?
So different. Oh my God. This was great. I honestly, I loved it. It was amazing. It really felt like a big, and we haven't had to oh my God, words. To me, other than maybe the Steven Universe movie and Steven Universe Future as an experience, there hasn't really been a big animation experience, a TV movie like this. Yeah. And I loved it. I think this was great. An hour-long episode special that just felt amazing.
Yeah, I think outside of the Steven Universe movie, this is one of the most go all out type of animation TV events we've seen in a long time. Pretty cool, yeah. Okay, Delaney loves it. April, what did you think?
Oh, of course I loved it. It was just incredible. And I loved that, you get to watch it. It's commercial free. And I was in it the entire time. I had so many emotions. I was live tweeting it at one point, but I couldn't keep up just because so much was going on. But I agree, this is what I came for with the Ladybug universe. So I'm all about this, and I love it. I'm so happy.
That's awesome. Yeah. Okay. That's interesting. You guys are this is what we've been waiting for. Well, I think we'll dive into that in a first topic in a second. But yeah, I think my first reaction to watching this was just like, it's like overwhelming. Like, this is like way too much. It's not a depiction of good or bad. It's just like, oh my God, how was there this much stuff? I mean, so this is like literally an hour long, yeah, without commercials. And the normal Ladybug episode is like generously 21, 22 minutes. So this is like 3 times the size of a normal Ladybug episode. And it was not like they took any time off. Like, there's definitely 3 episodes worth of Ladybug content in here at least. I know, I do think it's really good. I think like the production values are incredible. I think the story is really good. I love all the new characters. I think basically everything hit. I kind of, the only maybe criticism, I like wish there was more time in the third act. I think it was a little fast. Like Ladybug's always fast. So I think it fit what I'm used to, but maybe in this hour-long format, when you're building up to the end thing, it's not as good to have such a quick conclusion. Like, I mean, clearly this could have been like a full, like actual movie length, like at least 90 minutes. I think you could easily stretch out the material that's in here and then even other things that weren't hit on in the special. But, I'm also just impressed how this integrates into where we are in the show. I want to talk about that. I think this is definitely one of the best, if you want to call us an episode of Ladybug, one of the best episodes we've gotten, and one of my favorite animation things we've seen this year. Yeah, I think you guys were saying like, this is what we built to with Ladybug. I mean, this is, I think in many ways, feels like an Avengers movie. Not surprising considering the credits are like Avengers takes, like kind of copying. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, it's
like
literally
with the
the
epic
Avengers.
music.
Yeah. So, and we get, the United HeroeZ, which is I guess, I feel like this is more DC than, and we'll ask Delaney about this, but, Justice League / Avengers type group. So, like we're kind of doing like that. We meet so many new heroes. We're doing this big superhero merger thing. And it's also trying to be a normal episode of Ladybug, I feel like, right? Like, I feel like we have the kind of normal structure, maybe repeated, like 2 akumatizations happen sometimes in one episode, even if it's normal length. We have the normal Marinette character beats and things with the class going on. So it's just like, how does all of this work? Like, was it successful as a big Avengers event? Was it successful as a Ladybug episode? Was it successful as both? What do you think, Delaney?
I mean, I definitely think it was successful as both. Like, this felt like an event. Like, it was a really big deal, and it felt very cinematic. Like, it was so dramatic, and the music and the animation, like everything felt big and important, and there was just so much going on. And they really played it up. Like, the amount of Adrien and Marinette we got was like, that wouldn't happen in a regular episode. It was ridiculous. But then also, which is, it's great also that we had the time to take those moments. And also it is a testament to how much Marinette has grown as a character, like able to have these moments, even though she wanted to die the whole time. But then it is an episode of Ladybug. Like you were talking about, how does all of this work? We have the classmates, we have the superhero stuff, we have Adrien and Marinette. It all works because it's Ladybug. Like, that's like this is the secret sauce of Ladybug, is all this chaos that happens. But it all fits well because it's interesting how we got new mythology, but then also like mythology that it basically exists parallel to the current mythology. Like, it doesn't really, like, the American superheroes, they don't bring anything to us or take anything away. Like, they just also exist within the miraculous world. So it's really interesting, like this world, like it's all this solid world building, and they establish the United Heroes very fast. And I think they do a well enough job that it's like, you just accept it at face value and you move on. And I think that's part of, like, they give you just enough that we don't have to question it, but then they also give us a new miraculous. So I think there's a lot of pieces, but I think it all moves really well, again, because of the ridiculous pacing of Ladybug. But then also, like, this is what makes Ladybug is this, like, just constantly just plowing through fast action, but then those strong Marinette and Adrien moments.
Yeah, I think that secret sauce of Ladybug, like, this episode really does, the special, it does exhibit all of what we expect from a normal Ladybug episode. We have the romantic Marinette and Adrien moments, especially, like, one big moment with them, like, dancing in the sky. We have, like, all the akumatization stuff, ridiculous Hawkmoth stuff going on. Like, my favorite part of the special, no surprise, but in terms of, like, a broad element, is that we do not lose sight of the ridiculousness of the show.
No, absolutely not. It's
There's
there the whole time.
At least 5 big meme moments. Like they
So good.
It's like, oh, we're doing a serious Avengers special. We're not going to do things like space episodes. No, we will. Not only will we'll do many of them because we have time for more of those things. So, and maybe Ladybug is a show specifically suited for this type of special, like because it is just so jam packed. Normal episodes so fast paced that you can just kind of expand. Maybe it's easier to expand that into a normal Ladybug episodes already feel like, I can't believe we fit all this into 22 minutes. So doing a longer format, I think makes sense.
Which is why we're like, oh my God, this is going to be a 9-hour podcast.
Yeah, I'll say this outline, it took me like 2.5 hours to make the outline. It's 3 pages long. It's just me writing down what happened in the episode. It's just too much stuff. I was very daunted, but just had a pause, keep going. Yeah, April, did you pause?
I have a hot take.
Yes, what's your hot take first? Yes.
Our fic special would not have been as good.
I like that that's a hot take. Yeah. We threatened to make our own New York special if this did not air, and it did air. So people are disappointed, but I think after they've seen it, they're not disappointed because it was great. People expected the first. I think expectations were a little low for the special, just because it's like, oh, it's this ZAG produced like United, but I don't think this ended. I feel like this didn't end up being that. This felt mostly like an episode of Ladybug, not like some like produced event for the studio.
Well, now I have really high expectations for the Shanghai special.
Yeah, I think so, right? I'm
excited.
Definitely. I mean, this resulted in, you could argue this is the best episode of Ladybug, I think. So
honestly, I would. I think this is, we have some incredible, I mean, again, it's hard to compare. We talk about, Ladybug is a show that gets significantly better, every season. The growth is exponential for Ladybug. And now we're here at the peak with our most recent, I mean, this is an hour-long special. They pulled out all the stops. You can't, it's hard to compare it to other episodes.
Yeah. I think so. April, I forgot what question I initially asked Delaney that I was going to throw to you next on. I have no memory. So chime in on our overall topic of it working as both a Ladybug episode and a special.
Yeah, it definitely works as both. Because it is special. For one, it's longer than 22 minutes, which is, what we're used to and everything like that. But it does have a lot of the elements of a regular Ladybug show that we're into. There's zaniness, and then, we have Adrian and Marinette moments, and we have moments of Marinette just being crazy, which
that's right.
Which is outside of the zaniness of a normal episode, or whatever. but then I do think that given the amount of time that was dedicated to it, I agree with the third act being a little bit quick, but that's a Ladybug episode for you. And I really I enjoyed the pacing of everything else leading up to that. So everything it looked so high quality. I thought I was watching just a Pixar movie.
Yeah, honestly.
I really did. I was just did they enlist Pixar, the Pixar team to help with this? Because it looked so good. And then it gave me Delaney's got high hopes for the Shanghai special. I do too, but I also have high hopes for the movie. If we ever get that, it's going to be incredible.
Yeah. And they're throwing millions of dollars at that movie.
The movie. Yeah, I do. I will say this is directed by Thomas. Movies not Thomas isn't involved in, so kind of separate entities. But at least for a Ladybug property, throwing a lot of money at it. I assume this had a crazy high budget, but it's still a normal episode of TV. So I think they almost, regardless of how big their budget was, they ended up doing a lot of work considering the constraints of a TV budget for this special. I don't even need to hear the exact number. I know that they did incredible work on the budget.
Yeah. Also considering, pandemic.
Yeah, they definitely finished this during the pandemic. So and you results in this, wow. Another aspect of this being a normal episode, I was impressed that this functions as this Avengers movie, and also just feels really nice as this specifically fits in after the season 3 finale.
That's really what shocked me was I was like, whoa, we're getting right into it.
Mm-hmm.
The whole special is centered on this Marinette. I'm giving up on Adrian as a romantic interest, and that's playing off of where we ended up at the end of season 3. Like the entire like premise of the special is based on where we are. And then specifically comparing the kind of like superhero movie where we are in Ladybug, this special has a post credits type scene. It's not actually after the credits, but when we see the monks at the end, and that is we were just speculating on that this break between seasons that we thought the monks would be there like very soon into season 4, and there they are in the post credit scene that functions as like this. It perfectly functions as a Marvel post credit scene, and also makes a ton of sense where we are in Ladybug right now.
I definitely like screamed, "We were right!" It was a really good moment.
Yeah, I pat myself on the back. I said monks first scene of Ladybug season 4. We see that the monks are watching over Marinette, and this is even before, right before season 4 starts. That was a good call by us.
Good job.
Good. Feast podcast was a good idea to do that on the. But yeah, so I just you take this Ladybug, but Marvel movie or DC movie, whatever. But which makes sense because it's a superhero property. We've hinted at there being a larger world of superheroes before. A lot of these characters, were introduced in like auxiliary properties of Ladybug. I wasn't really familiar with many of them. I know we heard Majestia before. Alia talk about Majestia in the show, but that's basically all I remember. But it's perfectly suited for that, and then it also just it works as an episode of the show, and it works in time and place. I feel like, definitely this is the best we could have gotten from the special. Like, this is best case scenario, and I'm very impressed overall with it before we even get into specific elements. But speaking of specific elements, what's your favorite thing from the special? Like, is it a new character? Is it a scene that's really sticking out to you, Delaney? Is it multiple things?
Oh, this is hard. Okay. It's definitely multiple things. One, so we had seen a little bit of the plane when the plane's about to crash. We had seen a little bit of it in a YouTube video they were interviewing Thomas and other people who had worked on the movie and worked on the special. And we were like, they're gay. And
so we saw Uncanny Valley and Majestia embracing. We didn't know what Alia said.
We didn't know anything.
She introduced it, so we made assumptions.
And so we made assumptions as we do. We're like, it's gay. And then we have Red in the Discord was like, who actually knows French, and his French was like, guys, I'm sorry, but no. And we were like, this is terrible. And then JK, they're gay anyway because
Majestia is gay anyway, so that's
because Batman and Superman are gay for each other in this universe, which is incredible. So good.
Delaney, isn't this like made for you? This special, this features.
I swear to God, they made this for me. So literally, it
features lesbian Batman and Superman together in
literally,
this world?
They're like, here's Supergirl and here's Batwoman, and they're gay and they have 2 children together, and I'm like, wow, this was made for me. They were like, okay, what does Delaney want out of a Ladybug episode? And they just gave it to me. There's so much Alia. Alia's really important in this episode.
Alia's the only one who knows anything about what's going on.
I love Alia.
Alia was just the whole time was like, oh my God, so good. But I will say, so other than it being gay and the whole special was just incredible, my favorite part of the special is Jess. I really like Jess. I think Jess is a great character. Jess is a lot of fun. And also Aeon. Aeon's great. But I really liked Jess a lot. And I was really happy that Jess got the Eagle Miraculous.
Yeah, I think Aeon and Jess are both superstars, and
they're great.
Sure.
The fact that they're these just one-off characters, because unless we somehow go back here, Jess has an in to being in the rest of the show, but they're these one-off characters for the special, and they're the best supporting characters we've ever gotten in Ladybug.
They're amazing.
Yeah, they're incredible.
We'll talk more about them, but first, April, how about you? What's standing out to you as your favorite element of the special, and why is it Hot Dog Man?
Oh,
Hot Dog Dan. Excuse me.
Hot Dog Dan. Oh man, I love Hot Dog Dan. Okay, so this is going to be a true testament to, I guess, myself. But something that really stood out, or at least a moment that stood out to me, was the moment in the sewers whenever
Yes.
Adrian renounces Plog and be like holding the Miraculous. So first off, I cried. Yes. just letting you know.
I gasped so loud. I was like, no.
I gasped and then tears started coming down out of my eyes. But I also thought that was like a really like that was such a clever and like moment because it takes you back to whenever they have that other sewer scene and they have that discussion about like trusting like each other and all of that, like close your eyes, we'll eat these at the same time kind of moment. So I thought that was really like that we had those sort of like parallel and it looked exactly like the exact same scene. It probably was reused, which is fine, but I
think they probably animated new sewers for this. Different sewers, different city.
New sewers. They changed the brick.
Yeah.
Paris is gray and the United States gets red brick. Anyway, but I just loved that like parallel scenes, like because the first time we have that moment is like they're having that discussion of trust and how like that they do trust each other, but then in this moment we're talking about how like Ladybug's trust Ladybug's trust or faith in like Cat Noir has been broken, and he is just so torn up about it, and even like Plog's crying. It's very like it's a very like deep moment for this show and for like the like Ladybug and Cat Noir's relationship too.
Look, if Plog is crying, if Plog has any emotions that aren't amusement, then so you know something's going down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think, related to that, I'm going to say for my favorite element is, what I feel like what I was looking for from the special was what I got when Marinette and Adrian dramatically run in the rain in Times Square. Is like, that's to me is like the image of like what I expected from the special. And we did get that. And then we got Marinette dramatically chasing after Adrian on her bike in Times Square. In the rain, and it was I'm gonna make that the screenshot as Marinette after she falls down the bike. Just gorgeous, that scene. Oh my god,
it is gorgeous. It's insane. So
it's one of the most beautiful Ladybug scenes. So that definitely harkens back to the most beautiful Ladybug scene from the Origins with the umbrella.
Yes,
so
same lighting.
I feel like an intentional parallel, to have this really dramatic Adrianette moment.
Of those. I think within this.
Oh yeah, and I was gonna comment on what you said, April. That I do think there are a lot of parallels with the sewers. Is a great call. Also, a lot of stuff happens on rooftops. It's like, hey, guess what? It's a different city, but we still got sewers. We still got rooftops. So we still can have these Adrianette moments, or I guess in the sewers it would be Lady Noir moments. With we can still have these dramatic moments in these locations. I'm surprised. The only shocker is that we didn't go into Central Park, considering a park is always prominent in.
True.
We saw it though.
From above, I guess.
Yeah.
We said coming into the special, we will definitely hear that the Statue of Liberty was originally from France, and we got that history lesson.
Yep, absolutely.
So, I'm unsure if we also learned that there's like a secret safe in the Statue that has a key in the Eiffel Tower. Is that true? Is this?
I have no idea.
I tried looking it up. I think it might be fake news. I tried looking it up.
It's fake. I'm pretty sure it's fake. Not that like my history of the Statue of Liberty and the Eiffel Tower are that well, but I can't imagine that it's
confusing because the Statue of Liberty is made by Gustave Eiffel, came from France, but and they're like sister statues with the Eiffel Tower. But like I don't think there's like this whole the treasure in the national treasure situation going on. That's what I was trying to say.
I don't think so.
Yeah, but that was fun though. Yeah, I don't. Okay, so we were talking about expectations from New York. Yeah, no, we got the Times Square stuff too. So, and
they literally fought on top of the Statue of Liberty.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, eventually, and we have a dramatic again, like Avengers type, like aerial helicopter shot on top of the torch. We got that. Yeah.
Don't worry, you guys. We got to see the Eiffel Tower as well.
It's true.
And we did see the Eiffel. And look, this special begins. We're so blessed. Like, this is going to be good. When we start off, we're in the air and Mr. Pigeon is trying to bring the Eiffel Tower into space. We're battling Mr. Pigeon for the 51st time, says Alia.
So good.
Like, they know what we want.
Best episode intro ever.
It's
so amazing.
if I could have wished for what my ideal introduction to this special would have been, I would have said Mr. Pigeon tries to bring the Eiffel Tower into space. I don't know if I could have arrived at that exactly, but it's about right. Like,
it's what happened. It's what we got.
Yeah, it's what we got.
And then Majestia tries to like push the moon.
Yes,
that's okay. Now we're talking. Let's go over all the meme moments, since that's our specialty. So we had the. Majestia she's like I can goof off with my powers now, so she tries to like push the moon into the earth
for no reason. I love it
for no reason,
and then
just to see if she can.
And we see a second shot of her like waking up after she's doing something else with the moon. But then conveniently she's in space already, so she can stop the missile that Hawkmoth sends off to try to end the world.
The nuclear warhead that she throws into the sun.
That she just throws into So that happens.
Also, I love that Technopirate, when Hawkmoth asks for the sword, Technopirate's like, wouldn't you want like a nuclear bomb?
No,
so that would have been better. Yeah.
Like, also, another important aspect, we had the American villain that Hawkmoth teams up with for no reason at all talks like a pirate.
Yeah.
Technopirate.
He's Technopirate, but why? Why?
Yeah, is he
steal technology? Yeah.
Is he Irish? Is that what's going on?
He just talks like a pirate. It's incredible.
Yeah, I want to hear what he sounds like in the French version.
I hope he has an even better pirate accent.
I will say the French version with Plog is more of a stereotypical accent, so maybe like sometimes that happens. But the best meme moment is, so first of all, the President of the United States is a part of the Avengers. This is Victory. She's the black woman is the president, which is incredible.
Great.
Amazing.
Her name is Camilla Humby, which, as I've been looking at Thomas's Twitter, this is an anagram for Michelle Obama. So this is fake Michelle Obama.
I like
even better.
And she sets off all of. She has the briefcase, and she sets off all of the nuclear bombs in America.
And there's all these missiles in New York for no reason.
For no reason. At one point, she fires a missile out of a dumpster at Sparrow.
Yes.
In an incredible moment. Yeah.
And she's like, and Sparrow's escaping on her skateboard.
Yeah.
A+. A+.
Yeah.
Solid moment.
Just everything with the missiles, the nuclear missiles, is perfect for Ladybug.
Like, as soon as she got the briefcase out, I like felt Dylan in the distance. Like,
oh, this is what I'm here for.
Yes,
it was perfect.
Actually, wait. The best part of this actually is better than when Markov takes over Hawkmoth's lair. It's Hawkmoth in the hotel, and it's raining outside. And he's like, I warned them, and then the nuclear warhead launches.
Somehow it doesn't emotionally. He doesn't seem at the bottom, but he just decides like, I'm just going to end the world because they didn't listen to me. Like, what are you doing, Hawkmoth?
What are you doing, Hawkmoth?
Look, he's being a true villain. Don't knock him.
This is him at his most true villainous. Like, usually he's not this extreme.
Usually he's just like, I just need Miraculouses, okay? Like, can I get those? And this time he's like, well, I'm going to destroy the world. I hope you're ready.
This movie has it all, because we actually have Hawkmoth do something extremely smart. He sends Technopirate after the sword and to distract him while he goes in and gets the Miraculous.
Right. And that I was like, why are we talking about the saber? Who cares about the saber? I do believe it's intentionally a diversion from Hawkmoth. This, I think, is his most intelligent plan ever.
Big brain.
And then he even has Natalie in Paris.
And he has Natalie in Paris to create a Centimonster, which will be detected by the Akuma app. Yeah, so which is another good meme moment.
Oh, which is hilarious, the Akuma alert. So, like, we went from having the Akuma alert, which is just Akuma alert in Paris, to an app.
I don't know if we've seen that before. If we have, it was briefly. But
the Akuma alert technology has only improved.
Silicon Valley is getting a ton of funding for the
Natalie was sick and in bed.
Was she? Okay. We saw very little Natalie.
But no, every scene we see of Natalie, she's like in bed, which I would assume because she's recovering from literally almost dying in season 3.
Yeah, that is true. That happened. And
we didn't get Hollow Dad, but we did get Dad in the car on video.
Yes.
Yeah, he was on the video a lot. Yeah, this is a question for us, the Hollow Dad experts. Should Gabriel have sent Hollow Dad instead of himself to New York?
Well, he wouldn't have been able to do what he wanted.
No, no.
I guess he had to go because he had to go retrieve it himself as part of his master
and
plan.
he did it. He did it like secretively. Like Adrian didn't know that his dad was physically in New York.
Eventually, at one point, he takes over all of the screens in Times Square and is like, "Hey, Ladybug and Cat, I'm here too."
Yeah.
Guess what? I'm here. Yeah.
Oh wait! There's another meme.
There's more memes. We're not done yet.
Oh, I know, but like this one was infuriating. Okay, there's two of them. So they memed on us. So like there's at the end like Uncanny Valley's like, oh yeah, your quantum mask hides you from humans, but not me. And I'm like, you really? We get an explanation like that y'all are stupid, like
finally,
like in this movie. And then also when Adrian's like, distraught in his room about leaving Paris. And Plog's like, are there any supervillains in the house? And it's like, yeah, actually.
Yep.
I do.
Yep.
I don't see any villains here. Well, no, not in Adrian's room.
No,
actually.
Never.
I hate when the show memes on us. It's the worst.
Look, you gotta troll us for putting us through all this pain, and then you gotta also troll us about it. That's how that works.
Yeah.
Honestly, Uncanny Valley's explanation about the quantum, that was the first time we ever hear hey, it's a magic this is
it's magic.
I loved that that's how she knew kind of thing. Like that was she's like, I can only see humans, I can't see magic.
She can't see the Kwame, but she can tell apart the disguise. It was very satisfying feeling having some sort of distinction and explanation for that.
Yes.
And when she was scanning Techno Pirate, after he'd been akumatized, she was like, "There's magical interference."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. I was gonna get back to this, so let's get back to. We haven't gotten to the we'll come back to the puppets, which is the other main meme moment. But
oh my god!
I forgot about the puppets. God,
we'll come back. Okay. First, we just have to mention Marinette's dramatic speech, which culminates in Adrian, you're our sock Washington.
Yep.
Bravo, Marinette.
Bravo.
It was incredible. Okay, let's back to Aeon and Jess. So I called these the best supporting characters we've ever gotten from Ladybug.
Yes.
In addition to our main cat, we have our kind of main crew and the main class. I guess Lilo is kind of an addition, and she's great.
I was so mad that she was in the episode.
Lila says, "See, I need a steak because of my charity work." And I guess it was legit because she doesn't change her plans, right? She doesn't. I guess she isn't. We should be applauding Lila's charity work because it's apparently real. Okay.
I don't think the charity work's real. She's just not going.
Maybe she just didn't get the memo in time that Adrian was coming after all. So
I don't care. I was so mad. I had to pause and yell.
Yeah, we got Lila in there. We got Chloe with some funny moments in there. She doesn't want any part of this.
Oh, it was really funny that Chloe's like, I'm not going. And they're like, JK, you are. And Chloe's like, no.
Yeah. I think Chloe should have. She could have embraced being in New York a little more. I want to read this Thomas tweet that we got recently because it has a few explanations. Thomas says the first version of the script could have been a 2-hour movie. There's indeed a story arc on Miss Mendeleev, Mr. Damocles, and Chloe. We had to cut a lot of stuff. Some sequence remained in animatic. Maybe I'll share them one day. So yeah, Chloe. Yeah, I feel like Chloe clearly had some more going on.
Oh my god, I would have loved 2 hours.
I think this should have been a full movie, but we're glad.
I'm sorry, Mr. Damocles immediately was when he turns into Dark Owl, I was in tears.
I'm happy with what we got from Mr. Damocles. I don't need more than that, but that was good. That was what he needed to do. We had the real owl here.
He was excited and ready.
The best part is that my wife, she's seen a lot of Ladybug watching me. She just can't. She's just I can't watch all of season 1. I was like, it's okay. No one should have to, but. She so she was watching most of the special with me, and then when he runs, she's like, is he a real superhero? And I was like, no. No, he's not.
She bought it.
I was like, he's not a superhero, no.
We support him. We support him. And I guess Lila and Luca and Kagami are also additions. But excluding them, I feel like these are we'll come back to Luca. Come on, we'll come back. Aeon and Jess. They're great. So Aeon is an AI. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Naturally, they named her Aeon. Like, let's give her the most sci-fi name we can possibly think of.
It's pretty sci-fi. And her I think her superhero name is pretty infuriating, which is Uncanny Valley.
It's horrible.
Well,
like,
I don't
it's so bad.
understand.
So the Uncanny Valley is the thing that robots, like, you make robots look more real and real looking until they cross the Uncanny Valley, until they look like they're too real, they don't look real anymore. Like, that's what the Uncanny Valley is. So, like, why would you name a robot? I feel like that's insulting to a robot to name it Uncanny Valley.
No, the thing is, it's a great meme, and that's why it's horrible.
It's a meme, yeah. But it's her name, I guess. Okay.
Okay.
I don't know how Majestia makes her. Like, is Majestia Tony Stark in addition to being Superman?
Well, when you're Superman has access to the Fortress of Solitude, and he's an alien, so he's a genius. So Majestia is probably just a genius. It's fine.
Yeah, we'll come back to where all of them get their powers.
Also, I'm assuming her Batman wife helped her.
Yes, probably.
Oh yeah,
probably.
That's like that's their child.
Yeah,
yeah. I feel like it's a little bit presented as Jess is Barbara's child and Aeon is Olympia's. I don't think Olympia gets called Olympia in this special, but apparently that's her name. That's Majestia.
No, she does. She gets called Olympia in the hotel when she's
in the hotel. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that I feel like I feel like one interpretation is they each had their adopted kids and then they got married, and now that they're like bringing their kids into the marriage. That's so possible. Good.
I think
I like it.
Yeah. Speaking of Barbara and Olympia, I think this is the most explicit queer rep we've gotten on Ladybug thus far.
Yes.
But it's still not. It still would have been nice if we went even further than this, I would say.
Yeah, I would definitely like. I mean, they definitely do. There's a lot of like overtones, like where, especially with like the pretending to be a male superhero, but then being like, we can come out and be who we are. And I was like, gay, but like. But then it's like, granted, they also turn it into more about like their secret identities, even though it's not a big deal in America, which is like another weird plot they have going on, which I think is just supposed to like make us be mad about Marinette and Adrian. Unsure. But again, we're also dealing with different things because like there's magic and there's whatever these superheroes are.
Yeah. Their two big moments are in the hotel, and Olympia says, "Barb, honey."
And touches her face.
Honey, yeah. And then at the end, they're like embracing each other by the Statue of Liberty, as one does. So pretty clear that they're together.
Sweet.
We don't know if they're like married or just partners or whatever, but it's I mean, that's pretty radical to have your Superman be a gay woman and have your Batman be a gay woman too. Like,
okay, this is really funny. My wife didn't like. So obviously, like I was like, you have no notion of who Barb is until they're in the hotel and you're like, oh, you're Batman. My wife didn't figure it out until like the end.
Yeah, they're not. It is the revealed in the hotel scene, but it's not the most clear what's going on.
It's not super clear. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, we're also dealing with characters that we don't. Something that didn't do well, it's one of those things that like they have to reveal for you to understand, was the whole voice changer thing. Like how I understood it was Jess does the voice changer because Batman does the voice changer. But then it was like, oh no, they're just hiding their identities because there's this long line of Batmen.
Yeah. Which you could have assumed before, but it's not confirmed until the end that they're just hiding their identities.
Yeah.
With Jess, I think it's really striking because we see a lot of her in as Sparrow. She's a completely different male voice actor.
Yes.
And I was unclear if we were doing some gender fluid stuff or whatever with Jess. I think what ends up, I mean, it's we still get unconventional gender exploration, even if it's not explicitly stated like that, just by what we saw on screen. Let's talk about Jess, because I believe she's being presented as Native American by the show.
Oh, 100%.
So first of all, Jess on her own I think she's a really great, memorable character. I think she has like all these different forms, which makes her really memorable. As Sparrow outfit's really great. It's really like adorable. It's like, oh, it's Sparrow. And then I think her at Eagle is incredible, and she has a great transformation sequence into being Eagle. And she gets like a pretty iconic moment at the end talking to the monks.
Thank God we knew it was going to be this Native American themed Miraculous. Thank God they gave it to a Native American.
We wrote it down.
So we speculated that, and we speculated that it would not be done well. I would say I did not identify anything that was specifically offensive.
I would say the only thing is that like the costume design isn't awesome, but other than that, like it's we don't have any context for this Miraculous, so like that's another thing. Granted, we also like
does
the
it always
monk
look like that. Like what's going on?
Also, the monk was Native American. They were Native Americans with the Miraculous box.
Yeah, it looked a little bit like that, right? Like I think the monks are based on Tibetan monks, so I would assume all of them were Tibetan, but they definitely looked potentially multi.
Well, the thing is, I didn't pay attention to like the background people, but like the person talking to Jess was Native American, so like
he potentially looked like that. I mean, I think first of all, we're not experts on Native American representation for sure, and especially so considering is this like the first Native American character we've talked about on the podcast, like that like if not the first, then one of the first. That's pretty radical on its own to present a major character that's Native American. So I think the primary reactions for me is like kudos to the show for doing that with Jess.
Especially with this is an American-centric episode, and it wasn't just like all these white kids in New York.
We're instantly acknowledging the diversity of America and the and Native Americans in America the first time we come to America. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool.
I mean, most of our prominent characters, like aside from Barb and Majestia, Aeon, is an AI, but when she's not a superhero, she is a black girl, and then we have. There's and then the president is Michelle Obama.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, and then the kid who was into Sabrina.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, he's nice, and the only like white dude we see is the dean, the doorman, and he is the Lane Power, so that's fine.
That's true.
Whatever.
So
no, we'll talk about him. Yeah, no, but it's I think Jess she has her guitar right, and she's kind of like seems like a sarcastic type, but also quickly kind of embraces Aeon's like shipping of Marinette and Ladybug.
Also Aeon and Jess's relationship, adorable. They're cute.
Yeah, are they going to be together, or are they just siblings? I don't know. I guess
I don't know. They're just cute.
Yeah, I guess they're kind of but they're great together. And they're like, we want to have the team chemistry like Ladybug and Cat do.
And then they're like, I spoke.
And they're like, maybe not. Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah, I think Jess is great. Aeon, I think Aeon's also really great. I think she's just like super sympathetic.
She's adorable, and also like that very much naive and she's an AI. Like
she's kind of like the naive AI trope, but she also I feel like has enough like street smarts, a little bit of like going on, and definitely a lot of intelligence.
Well, I really like.
I was gonna say she's got more intelligence. Like she's more intelligent than like your average like naive like AI, but. Yeah, and she's got personality. Like it's not like her. She's defined as this like naive person. She like is genuinely clever and smart. So
yeah, I think it would have been nice if she were looking at her as like as representation lens. Like the black girl being an AI. I don't know if that takes away from the representation.
Yeah.
Also, like the only reason she's an AI is so they can kill her.
I mean, I think there's they convinced me enough that it was beyond that, because they did the themes with the technology versus magic throughout.
Yeah.
So I appreciated that, but a big component of her character is that she's like, oh, good thing she was a robot because she got cataclysmed or else.
Well, this makes me wonder. This makes me honestly suspicious. Are we amping up to killing someone? Like,
well, but here's the other part of that too is that Marinette did not seem like for sure that she was going to be able to bring her back.
Right.
So, but I agree with Delaney. That was another thought that I had too. I was like, are we going to kill somebody? Like, is that going to happen?
This is the second time we've killed like a fake person.
We thought we were building up to Adrian's death for a while, so
we can still
bring those death flags back out for Adrian.
Bring those death flags back.
Bring those sentimental flags back out. Come on.
Let me dig them out of the closet. Jacob.
Also, honestly,
they should be out and present and presented around the.
They're here.
Yeah, they're here.
Also,
good.
Honestly, if Marinette had been able to bring her back, I think Majesty would have just punched a hole in Cat Noir.
She would have killed him.
Oh yeah, he would have been dead, and then charged with murder.
I will say, I think they did a really good job of like Cat like dealing with like the consequences of what happened, which I think that's something, after Carte Blanche, it's like he's ridiculously powerful. Like, obviously he had been akumatized, but like he has the power of destruction, and we've teased at it. But then I think here was a really good like exploration of like just how dangerous and like Cat Noir is, and that's another thing that kind of ties into this, the overall theme of like trust, and that Ladybug can't trust him.
And the theme of, we'll come back to that, but yeah, certainly like they've been ramping up the displays of power on the Cataclysm. With Aeon, I think given that she's an AI, which I think is sketchy foundations to begin with, I think given that, I think they did, I guess, they kill her, which is not good, but and she comes back to life. But I think like there's a lot of good stuff here too, and just her being, like a black girl with black hair, and like clearly like it's she, I don't know, she doesn't have black parents or anything, I don't know, but it's I think it's like for Ladybug, I think this is good. For
Ladybug, it's good. For like base level, not necessarily. I will say she's a very fun character, and I really I think she's like you were saying, she's one of the best. Like,
I think that's maybe at its core is very important. Like, is like she's just like a good complex character, right? And I think
and also, for Ladybug, this is a big deal because like the majority of our cast in France is just white.
That's also true.
Yeah, of course we have Aya and Nino and stuff, and Thomas is defensive when you talk about it, but it's like
you got two kids out of like 15, okay? Calm down.
Yes, but America, and maybe even more diverse place, at least New York City. So I do think we properly display the diversity of New York in the special, which is good. Aeon Jess, and then that thing with Aeon Jess is they team up with, and this is what I kind of mean when I say the third act was a little fast, is that I only got this impression on repeat viewings, but there's clearly supposed to be this 4-person team that we form at the end, with Aeon Jess, Ladybug, and Cat. They do a 4-way pound it at the end, which is incredible. I love seeing all their interactions together, and I think if we do Ladybug Avengers with Ladybug at the center, I think Aeon and Jess are prominent members of that team in the future.
Yes,
that'd be cool. But I love their chemistry with Ladybug and Cat, and in human form and hero form, I think it all worked. I think that the special made it a big priority. Like, I think that's probably the intent behind their teasing or their like shipping of Ladybug and Cat, and like, we'll put them in this situation. I think they just put a lot of effort into all like building on all forms of their interactions, and I think it was very well presented.
Well, honestly, Aeon and Jess had such good chemistry, not just with Ladybug and Cat Noir, but also Alia and Nino. And like it just worked. And I also really liked Ladybug and Jess's like their interactions, like when they're planning to save everybody, like when they're in the alley. They're planning in the alley, the dumpster behind them, of course. But I feel like that's one of the biggest shows. That scene is gorgeous, by the way. It's great.
I think that there's a few scenes I feel like they especially step up the animation for. I think that's one of them. But yeah, I love them all planning together, and then they start executing. And I love the Aeon and Jess when they the plan is to lure Doorman, and so they take a selfie, and it's like, hey, we have a present for you.
So good.
So I love the presentation of Aeon as like a normal teen girl, in addition to just being this serious AI.
Yeah.
I think that was probably
also, it's funny because she's obviously an AI, but no one knows.
Yeah, does no one know that?
Is that a secret? I was trying to figure it out on my second watch through. I was like, does everyone know she's an AI? Does anyone know she's an AI? I think
it's hard. The problem is, like, we don't really, other than, like, some of the kids at the rooftop party, like, we just deal with Aeon and Jess, and they're superheroes. So, like, I don't know if there's really a good way to tell.
Yeah, and no one knew that Jess was Sparrow. Did people know Aeon is Uncanny Valley?
Well, the thing was, I know, obviously Marinette and Kat wouldn't know, but like, they were shocked.
I don't know if the population of America or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's talk about that. So let's talk about the element of the superheroes. So, the concept for this is like, the United States is the land of the superheroes. I think that we got some interesting elements of that. We talked about the diversity in the heroes we see. I think that's a good execution on this concept of like, we're going to the US, there's a lot of heroes here. Here's the most, I think, prominent aspect of superheroes in the US is there's superheroes for everything here. And probably here's my pick for the stupidest / best line of the special. Alia gets the honor. She says, "Oh, that's just Captain Red Light organizing the traffic. There's a superhero for everything here." What? Captain Red Light organizing the traffic?
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we get Hot Dog Dan later, so like I get that there's more superheroes.
I was like, you're gonna argue about Captain Red Light when
is there a Captain Red Light at every street corner? Like what's going on?
Well, but maybe he only like deals with whenever like he only is called to action whenever like maybe a red light is out.
Look, it's like mythology. There's gods for everything, for things you can't explain, and in America, there's superheroes to fix things with our problems. Honestly, I would love to have a traffic superhero. I think they would be very useful.
Right?
I guess so. Okay.
And you have Hot Dog Dan. He comes to your picnic because you don't have hot dogs. This seems like I'm buying.
Look,
I'm here.
I'm not buying that aspect of Hot Dog Dan, but the magic part, sure. If he gives you temporary superpowers, that I'm in on.
I will say I was shocked.
Powers.
I wasn't ready
magic.
for
Just
the
weird
magic hot
effects.
dog.
Yeah.
That's not. I was not ready for that part. I was like, oh, they're like special hot dogs.
That was. Yeah, that was probably the most random part of the like. What's here's Hot Dog Dan.
It wouldn't be Ladybug if we didn't have Hot Dog Dan.
Okay, we have Hot Dog Dan and his magic hot dogs, but we also have Andre and his magic love ice cream.
That's not really magic, though.
Is it?
I guess you guys are true believers of the Andres.
It's magic, Dylan.
Yeah.
I didn't know you guys were such Andre truthers.
It's magic, yeah.
Yeah.
God,
okay, but this is a real. Andre's not a superhero unless we don't know about it.
He could be.
He just has magic.
Maybe he's naturally magic. But
yeah,
wait, also we get the exposition. That's Hot Dog Dan. He usually patrols with Ketchup Boy and Mustard Justice. There's a subtle line.
Stuff.
I love it.
Great.
I will love say, it or hate it. I don't know.
Like, my thing is, like, it works because Ladybug is stupid.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's why, and that's what we're here for. Like, it makes, like, look,
it makes sense because it's so random. Like, and that falls in line with the Ladybug universe.
Also, they're making fun of America, and I accept.
Yes.
We would have superheroes for everything, and that they'd be stupid.
Yeah, and I guess if you're doing New York hot dogs is like the stereotypical, like a street.
I accept.
Yeah, because there would have been riots in the streets over pizza.
Yeah, there's probably a pizza superhero.
I'm more interested in the pizza. Unless Hot Dog Dan has vegan options. I don't know. We don't know. We didn't get
Oh, man. A magic vegan hot dog sounds lit.
Maybe they'd make it actually taste good.
That's the magic part.
That's the magic.
That's the magic part. It doesn't give you superpowers. It just actually tastes good.
I would take it, okay?
Because veggie dogs suck. So bad.
Okay, unfortunately agree. Okay, the another major aspect, they don't need to hide their identities in America for most of them, it seems like, says Alia. So the exceptions are Night Owl and Sparrow. Is that it? Are there other people?
Potentially Majestia, but we don't know.
Maybe maybe we know that the president, the president of the United States, Camilla Humby, turns into a superhero during a news conference. So everyone knows that she's a hero. I think probably heroes would have an advantage in being elected president. I think that.
I would say so. Also, I think this is interesting. Like,
I also wonder if hers is like passed on from president to president.
That was something I was wondering also.
I love this, but where did you get this impression?
Just because she's the president.
So, okay.
And she's Victory.
This necessitates getting into where these powers come from. Okay, so they have these bracelets, which they used to transform. We see transformation sequences for Jess and Aeon and Dean Gate. We see them all they turn the bracelet and they transform. So I believe none of these are miraculous-based powers except for the eagle.
Correct.
Yeah,
that is what is presented.
But I don't believe we really know where the source of the power is for anyone except for Aeon, she's technology, and then probably Night Owl and Sparrow. Like, I mean, Batman's like, I don't actually have powers; I have cool tech, right? So
yeah,
and also they like, I don't. It's weird because like with Majestia, like
where do Majestia's powers come from? Yeah,
because Majestia, I mean, reads a Superman, and it's like it seems more like your abilities. And they also talk about, like, I mean, her fear was holding back. And it was like, it seems like
that seems like an innate thing.
Are natural, like, are innate.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's like the combination, sort of like, I mean, I guess the DC, like Marvel worlds, because there are people who have like, you know, natural abilities or magical abilities or whatever you want to call them, mutations. But then there's other people who do rely on technology to save the day. So
that's what I would assume, that people like Majestia have an actual innate powers, wherever that comes from.
Like and Majestia and the Doorman.
Doorman, probably that's either got bitten by a magic door. Or,
probably. You gotta like
you do,
like one does. Yeah, I mean, it's like very cool. You could just go wherever you want. You can create portals, but also like he can't do anything else. It seems like.
Well, I would say I think the bracelets are part of this like Justice League concept of them like being the United Heroes. Like they all just have bracelets.
Well, I kind of took the bracelets as like a Tony Stark, like Iron Man sort of like transform.
That's what I was wondering. Was the Tony Stark of this world make all the bracelets, give everyone hero powers or something?
Yeah, why not?
Or did the Tony Stark of this world invent the bracelets as an easier means of accessing your powers or something like that? They have to be there already. But yeah, this is in the weeds of that. By the way, Doorman, Dean Gate is apparently based on the Dean from Community. Thomas confirmed this on Twitter. He looks
That's
like
hilarious.
It's just so random. He does look like him. And we see a bunch of other members of the United Heroes as well, but we don't get into them at all, other than these ones we mentioned.
They're just there.
They're just there, including like a trio of ant people or something, which I'm intrigued by. But I don't know. We'll see them at some point, I guess. And then we have like the Techno Pirate. Where does he get his powers from? You know,
technology.
Well,
yeah. So I get that he like absorbs technology, but where did that ability come from?
Well, I don't think that that wasn't an innate ability. That was when he was akumatized. I do think Technopirate. I don't know if he just like has a bunch of technology and then he steals technology, because like obviously he was also carrying a jet engine, so he's probably just really strong. Like.
Yeah. So I don't
like the absorbing technology was when he was akumatized.
Yes. He on the plane, I think he was also doing that, or some other version of that.
He was like
he touched something and something happened. Stuff. Yeah, I don't know if it might have been a slightly different ability. It's possible the Akuma only enhanced his powers. I know Ayana at one point said the Akuma made him more powerful. Might have been, but yeah. So I don't know what's going on with him too, and then also the fact that there are supervillains. Like he's just a supervillain, and they're like in Ladybug parlance, supervillain means someone who's been akumatized by Akmoth. But now we know that expands. When you get out of Paris, there is more than that.
That makes sense. If everyone could be a superhero in America, then there would have to be supervillains.
Yeah. I will say, I think all of this this is a big expansion of the Ladybug mythology. I know all of this was here in the background in like auxiliary Ladybug material, but this is not something that had been presented in the show before in terms of powers coming from things other than Miraculouses. This is like a big complex expansion, and it potentially can convolute things in the future. I'm a little worried if this bleeds into the show proper. I don't think it will. I think it'll just be for specials.
I feel like this is like one-off enough that it's not going to bleed into the show. I mean like
they literally went on a school trip to America. We're never coming back. It's going to be fine.
Yeah.
Sad. Hopefully Jess and Aeon can come to France.
I was going to say, we'll get like Jess and Aeon in the Super Ladybug Special Extravaganza, but...
Yeah, I do think now is the perfect time for this, though, because the monks are back, and we've been limited to just the Miraculouses and Hawkmoth's in the Miraculous box that Master Fu had until now. Plus the two that Hawkmoth had. But now we're already expanding beyond that just in terms of the Miraculouses because the monks are back. So now is a good time to expand beyond Miraculouses as well.
Well, also like this big expansion also was really important for just our basic mythology. Like, for example, like we get the explanation when I use my Miraculous Ladybug, it can undo the damage done by one villain.
Yeah.
And then also, I mean, it was a really big deal to me that they weren't there to fix Paris. Paris was damaged heavily while they were gone. And, and they had to deal with that. They were very upset about it. And, Marinette was like, I wasn't there. I couldn't help them. And because, we make jokes a lot. We're like, oh, people probably died. But so we actually have gotten an explanation.
Actual possible for once.
Actually, people could have died. And then Granted, it is also like I mean, I did like it at the end where they were like, oh, they weren't here because they were saving New York, which that was sweet. Like that was good. But like they had to deal with that, like the consequences of not being in Paris.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which I think like we went outside of Paris, so we dealt with the consequences of that. I think that was good.
Yeah. I do think that it's an interesting element to introduce the concept and the idea of like what happens to Paris when Ladybug and Cat Noir aren't there to save the day, because and I think that's where a lot of like the humor of the show comes from too, is because everyone just knows that, you know, at the end of the day, the miraculous ladybugs are going to fix everything. But this could be like sort of eye-opening for, you know, the city of Paris, for them to see what happens when they don't come to save the day and there aren't magical ladybugs kind of situation, which is probably what like in like New York they're more used to dealing with, because, you know, when she did that and everything was fixed, everyone was
like, whoa.
They were like in awe about it, because that's not what they normally deal with. So
yeah, if I have one complaint about the special, it's that we didn't call out the magic ladybugs. Like this was their shining moment, being introduced to more people, and we didn't name drop the magic ladybugs. I mean, how do you not? No, yeah, like we specifically clarified that Miraculous Ladybug works on one specific thing. I think like that was, you know, I feel like Ladybug normally does things like this and doesn't give us the explanation, but here we needed the explanation, I guess. But it felt in theme too. I think that's probably why they did it, with the expansion of everything. And yeah, hey, guess what, Mayor Bourgeois? You got to actually clean up for once. No magic ladybugs coming this time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like this is probably the first time he's ever had to do anything.
Yeah, well, it's like, what are you doing, like to solve the supervillain problem?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, his plan is we're gonna rely on these Parisian teenagers. Okay,
on these two teenagers, like, bro.
this is treaded upon ground, but that's fine.
Which that is something funny too. Like we've always dealt with sort of like, because we've had calls, you know, we've actually like quote unquote seen Ladybug and Cat Noir when they're adults, and we've had, you know, we've seen Bunnix, but then in this one they're like, can you children please give me your superpowers and like go to bed? Like,
yeah. Well, because I think that it's introducing like very like real life concepts into, you know, this mystical and magical world that we've been playing in for so long. So, you know, like at the end of the day, yeah, Cat Noir and Ladybug are just kids. So and again, like, I don't remember which one of them said it, but, you know, like, is that like what your power is for, Ladybug, to clean up like Cat's messes all the time? I mean, she does more than that, obviously. Yeah, I mean, but also like it kind of puts things into a lot of perspective at the same time too, because, you know, they are kids, and what they do does have like consequences, but we've never had to really deal with them before.
I mean, Cat killed a kid. Like,
yeah, one of the biggest moments, I think, of the special. And yeah, and then we see Majesty's reaction, and then they try to confiscate their Miraculouses, and then we see them running away from that. And I feel like you normally get this type of moment. It's like, oh, our hero friends turn into the villains, and so I think that was like a good beat to hit on, but it doesn't last very long, which I appreciated too. It's just like, okay, we escaped into the sewers. I feel like all that was handled very well.
I mean, this also goes, I mean, it was a really big deal. Like, so, I mean, one, that was very traumatic for both of them. And then immediately Adrian renounces Plog, which is a really big, scary moment. And then Marinette's like, what am I supposed to do? Like, it was really sad to me when they were both in her purse.
Yeah, let's talk about that, because
they were cuddled.
Yeah, well, they're in it's I get in previous seasons that would have been like shocking. It's like, oh, Tiki and Plog knows everything, but no, it's like now at this point we know Tiki and Plog know everything, and that's fine. But yeah, that was like a big component of the third act, middle of this, like second into third act is this. We get some strain on Ladybug and Cat's relationship as heroes. Ladybug gets very angry that Cat is there in New York. It's like, hey, surprise, Cat's here. By the way, understated, there's not enough time for this, but understated moment of like, Marinette, no ideas on who Cat might be that he randomly shows up in New York. No, this does not eliminate the pool of potential cats at all.
Or even Adrian, like he knows Ladybug's out of town, but oh look, she's in New York. When
that's true too.
Guys, like you're literally on a trip with the same 10 kids to Paris, or I mean, from Paris to New York.
We can't. It's like, look, if you think it's Kim or something, fine, but like you can't understand it's someone in your class, Marinette. Like at the movie also hit on that already.
Look, we understand quantum masking, but so quantum masking.
Does quantum masking make you an idiot?
That's my thing, exactly. It excuses you from not being able to look at them in the face and recognize them, but because you can't put the pieces together, you're an idiot. Like you're just stupid. Like
it must cause brain damage.
This also makes me laugh too, because so my husband, who does not ever watch this show whatsoever, except whenever like he happens to be walking by and I'm yelling at the TV or whatever, but he legitimately, he turned to me and he goes, "Okay, April, I don't understand." And I was like, "What?" And he said, "Why can't they know who the other is?" And I said, "There's reasons for that." And he goes, "Okay, but aren't like the fox girl and the turtle girl, like they know who each other is, so why can't everyone just know who each other is?" And I was like, I don't know. Like,
like look, you broke it.
Why are you breaking my reality right now?
Like, listen, this is just how it is. It's fine.
But he was just like, he's like, well, that doesn't make sense. Like, they should be able to know who each other is too. And I was like, look, they have the most powerful Miraculouses. And he goes, okay, so that's even more important for them to know who each other is.
Look, this is a summary of our frustrations in season 3.
I was like, look, like, we just have to accept this as our life right now. And he's like, he's like, well, no wonder you get mad. And I'm like, yes, that's why I'm mad.
No, the best part, I was streaming and I was like yelling about Ladybug like I normally am. This was like a week or two ago. And there's a kid watching my stream and they're like, oh, I'm not caught up. You know, do they know who each other are yet? I was like, no.
That's always the first question.
Absolutely not.
No. But no, it's a good point of like, why can't they know each other? Because season 3 briefly addressed this. We learned that Master Fu claimed there's a magic rule about it. And we're unsure. We went through this whole saga. We're unsure if there's like magic governs this, or is it just like a social guideline? But now that there were like, this should be top of our minds because Marinette's the master now. So does that rule still apply? We're going to find out.
Well, this is also like, she can know. Like, she literally knows who everyone is except for Cat Noir because she hands out the Miraculouses.
Yeah.
Like,
this was us during the off season. We talked about this. Like, Marinette being the master, does she get to know who Cat is now? So far, no. Also, no mention of Marinette being the master during the special, but I think that.
But it was in the intro, which is really cool.
Yeah, we got the Miracle Box in the Avengers intro. But yeah, the strain on their relationship because Ladybug's like, Cat, why were you out of town? Cat he should have just told her. Agent should have just told her. It's a lesson about communication, as always.
Also, the
I
super
hope you all learned your lesson.
I hope
they did
that
not.
We keep the cat, the little cat and the remote thing.
Cat doll?
I want that to still exist. Like, that better be in season 4.
I also just want one of those.
Yeah, how are you gonna make the little cat plush without
so great?
Yeah. I mean, the Zag store's ever expanding.
I'm gonna buy one so that we can all have them.
Yes.
And then we can like ping each other and dolls will
perfect.
shake.
That's nice.
I like it.
I was like, what? It's like, why not just like text me if something happens? No, you have to vibrate this doll and then I'll know.
Well, no, because they text and they would have to have phone numbers.
But they can literally.
I'll add you as my contact as Cat Noir.
No, you don't understand.
It doesn't work like that.
Also, it's the same phone number. They'd be like, "Wait, you have the same phone number."
They wouldn't realize it. They're too stupid. They wouldn't make the connection.
Also, they can literally communicate with each other anyway with the yo-yo and the staff.
Yeah, is the yo-yo out of range? What's going on?
Yeah,
here?
it's through magical Wi-Fi.
Use the yo-yo and the staff whenever they're transformed.
Yeah, I guess that's the point.
So stupid.
Just get that app where you can talk to people anonymously, like, and whatever, something like, you know.
It's not hard, guys.
Snapchat.
Yeah, just get Snapchat.
Send pictures of akumatized villains.
What filter are you gonna put over the picture of the new villain?
It's got a filter on where it looks like a cat.
Give it those. Yeah, I guess.
Cat, like, it's Cat taking a selfie with the villain behind him, and he's put like the like flower crown uwu like filter on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I think. Yeah, I feel like there's like, look, I'm willing to get into different flaws of all the alternatives here, but like, there's got to be a better alternative than
please. Please.
The vibrating cat. Okay. And then yeah, Cat gets really down on himself. This is necessitated by Ladybug's like, I don't trust you, which is a big move.
Yes.
I think you can question whether that was like warranted or not, but at the Cat did screw up by not telling her, and then Ladybug is dealing with a lot. And
the worst possible scenario happened. They attacked Paris and no one was there.
Yes, this is exactly what she was worried about. And she's like, the one time, and also, I mean, the special doesn't present this as context, but she's a new master. Like, this is like the worst case scenario for
and
her
also,
as a new
like,
master.
Legitimately the worst case scenario, because she it's a big deal because she trusted Kat to like look after the place while she was, not able to. And again, she's the new master. Like, she has a lot of stresses going on in her life. So I can't imagine, like, maybe she, like, I agree that she kind of did overreact a little bit, but it seems like it's not, like, unqualified.
I mean, I don't know, like, I understand that it's ridiculous to us because these children are stupid, but, like, she trusted Kat, which that was a big move for her. This is also this is like her first time probably leaving the country, and she's going to America. She's nervous about leaving Paris to Kat. Like, we knew she was nervous about it. And she gives him, like, she's like, here, if you need anything. And she's like, I need you to take this seriously. And then she leaves and she thinks everything's fine. And then it turns out that not only was Cat Noir not there, but the city's attacked and she's not there to fix it. And she was devastated that she wasn't there to fix it. Like, I do think things happen very quickly in the third act, but, like, I think her being upset was extremely warranted. Like,
that's a good call. I definitely think we don't necessarily have time to digest all that as it's happening.
We don't.
And it's also just reacting in the moment too.
They very quickly fix Paris at the end, so like they don't give us enough time to, like, honestly, like, to grieve what really could have happened. If they had done more damage to Paris.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think one of the primary things you'd be looking for with an expanded runtime of the special would be to let the emotional beats have a little space. I think that's kind of what we're driving at here. Typical of Ladybug, but this is a higher drama, higher action and stuff. So, like, I do think, like, even more warranted to have a little bit of space to like, let things hit the audience.
Like, we go from, like, chasing after Adrian and her collapsing in the street. Which, by the way, my wife was like, this is the saddest thing I've ever seen. And then to, Aeon just, like, records Marinette being like, I don't know if I can be Ladybug without him. And she's like, bye-bye. And she just goes, flies away and just play, like, which, by the way, was great. I really enjoyed it. And I thought it was a really good, like, it was, it's a plot device. I enjoyed it. It was fine. I'm just going to punch my mic. It's fine. That's how excited I am. And
that's typical Ladybug podcasting.
Yeah, it was fine. And these things happen very fast to resolve. Like,
so and then Cat he hears that and he's thrown off, and then he almost hits Ladybug with the Cataclysm as the villain. We also had, I guess, a smarter villain than average who
that's true.
Just throws him at someone else. It's like, that's the move if Cat has an active Cataclysm, which Cat should not Cataclysm until the last second. I think that's a lesson.
Also, you don't have to Cataclysm all the time. Can you stop that?
Yeah, it was potentially unwarranted here.
That is his thing. You're right.
That's the one thing he can do. You can't take it away from him.
That's
like
true.
he like, but like, I guess, like, I don't want to, like, condone what he did or anything like that. But I guess, like, if you put yourself in his mind, he's like, look, I get to show off for these, like, other heroes, that kind of thing. So, I mean, it doesn't excuse it, but
there's a lot going on. So then that happens, and then he renounces his Miraculous. He's kind of devastated, and it kind of ties into the drama of what Marinette's going through with Adrian. But then Aeon steps in to kind of resolve it with her recording Marinette. It's like, I need Cat back, and then she plays it for Cat, and then we get back on the same page. But it's definitely, like, high drama with the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
And it is nice that we hit on both the Lady Noir and Adrianette kind of relationships.
No, this is probably the best way we've, like, integrated it, like, both of them together in the show. Like, because it always seems like two very different conflicts.
Yeah, and I think they seemed a little separate to me here, but like that's inherent when they don't know each other's identities.
Yeah.
But in terms of what's Marinette's psyche, they're definitely tying in together at the end. So I think that was definitely pretty successful. So tying into what Marinette's going through with Adrian. Okay, so kind of I mentioned this, but the main framing of the special is potentially this notion of Marinette. She is given up on Adrian romantically, given up on asking him out. She just wants to be friends now, and everyone else doubting it. And all of her friends and everyone else in the world being skeptical.
Olga's like, no.
Yeah.
Olga is so great in this because she's just like, just friends, and she does the air quotes like over.
She trolls her the whole time, and then honestly, Nino was really sweet. I actually really liked Nino in the special a lot. Talking about, he was like, "I love Adrian," and then like talking about he wants him to come out of his shell. Like it was really sweet.
Yeah, that was very tender.
They're adorable.
Yeah. Nino is good. Yeah, good Nino and Alia. Special they didn't have a lot, but this manifests in a lot of ways, but just the psyche of like Marinette is kind of she's decided she's done with this, but unlike Adrian, potentially she's not with Luca either. She's just kind of figuring things out, I guess. It makes sense for where we are, I think, with the show. It's frustrating. Honestly, it seems like a whole season's worth of romance drama, like with what Marinette's going through. So it gives me a little bit of hope that we're not going to spend all of season 4 on this, because this is what I kind of expected all of season 4 would be.
I mean, let's talk about Adrian for a minute, because like Adrian's like, you're such a good friend. Let's dance romantically in the sky while I have a girlfriend. Like, Adrian, what is wrong with you? Like, what are you doing? Like,
well, it's so interesting because he very much like, we have that scene with him and Kagame in the beginning, and how like she's happy because they'll get to spend time together, yada yada yada. She kisses him on the cheek, but then after like I guess he like finds out that Marinette was the one who like I guess petitioned for him to go to New York. Like every like interaction he has with her, he just seems to be sort of like love struck by her. And I really wish that we would have gotten like some of Adrian's perspective during this, because I'm like, I need to know what's going through your head, because you're being like super nice to her. Like Adrian's a nice character overall, but he's being like more so, like more than just friends.
Spend the entire episode together. Like, I don't mean LOL because they're Cat and Ladybug. Yeah. I mean like literally like they have never spent this much time together ever. Like she's in his house. They like. She almost got to sit next to him on the plane, which we were robbed, but also
she got next to, but she couldn't do it.
Yeah,
she couldn't do it.
She couldn't do it, which we were robbed, but also like there was no hope for her. And then also like the sunset, like I mean, Ollie's trolling her the whole time, but like I mean, they watched the sunrise. It was the sunrise on the plane.
Yeah, they call it the sunset later, but I thought it was the sunrise.
I thought it was the sunrise too, because everyone was also asleep. So
who knows? Anyway, like crazy. And then like they're always trapped in the doors, and they're always next to each other. They like sneak out together. Like, what are y'all doing? Like, what is going on?
Right. They're just heavily in denial, and they culminate with their big romantic dance in the sky together.
Which is okay to think. If you had told me, like in the middle of season 2, that this scene would have happened, I'd been like, "What? You're just trolling me? Like that's not." And then it happens.
And
what?
What happens when they're not dating?
They share a hot dog together.
They share a hot dog,
which they're super awkward about.
New York is truly a romantic place, you guys.
It's true. I really enjoyed that.
Second most romantic place in the world.
I really enjoyed that when they were on the plane. Always like it's like the most romantic place on earth. Second to Paris, which was hilarious.
I was like, Paris. What about Paris? So
they continuously refer to New York as being like a romantic trip, and I'm like, what is romantic about New York?
Me too.
Alia explained it.
My wife is like, they're from Paris. Why are they talking about New York this way?
Maybe this is what people outside the U.S. think, but no, the carriage rides, but we don't do that. Like they don't do any of the romantic things, So they it's no Central Park, but
they go on carriage rides in do
Paris.
Yeah, they do in Paris. Yeah, why is that special? Yeah, that's true. Yeah, honestly, like the outside, if you live in Paris, I feel like everything else should not seem any sort of like romantic city. But I guess it's all baseline to where you live and you
I
live.
think that like Alia was the ultimate troll because she put all of these like thoughts into Marinette's head almost. Because Marinette, I mean, granted, she has her like lapses and everything like that, but she is really like showing that she's, you know, trying to be over Adrian and sort of move on. But then like Alia's like constantly there, like, well, you going on that romantic trip to New York? Let's go.
Honestly, though, I think Adrian's also his fault. Like,
oh yeah, no, he's my totally thing is, like leading her on and stuff. I think.
Like Marinette, it's not like she's giving up on. She's not giving up on Adrian because of her. It's mainly because of Kagami. Like she's like, okay, but then Adrian's like, I'm super cute and romantic, and it's like, can you, boy, like back up?
Yeah, okay, let's talk about that. So, this isn't even one of the top 15 scenes, but Kagami kisses Adrian, and it seems like it's normal. After Fenting's practice, by the way, I love that this is Kagami's version of flirting. She says, when you're as weak as you were today, the pleasure of beating you is lessened.
So
like, I'm pretty sure that was her trying to flirt.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it seems like this is a normal occurrence with the kissing. We don't get any indication they're literally dating, but it seems like there's something akin to dating.
Okay, like how much can look, 14-year-olds can't be doing too much of like talking, okay? Like you're either dating or you're not, okay? Like
they should just DTR, right? They
got DTR.
Define the relationship. Yeah, no, but in terms of like, hey, why is Adrian being romantic with Marinette when he's dating? We don't know that he's dating Kagami.
Right.
We don't know that they're in an exclusive relationship.
Also, Adrian's
heavily implied that they're
also Adrian it's like, oh, friends kiss each other. We're not dating. That's probably what he thinks about.
Yeah, because Adrian's an idiot.
He's just so stupid. So he probably thinks they're still friends. Okay, then we've cracked it. And the other side of this is Luca. So give me my 30 seconds on Luca here.
Okay,
so
I'm going to start the timer. Hold on.
I'm probably going to go over. So Luca is catching up to the bus with Marinette on his bike. We don't know why Marinette's late. That just happens. And so sweet, helping her out, catching up to the bus. He says, you know what's most important, Marinette? That this trip helps you get some clarity. And that line, said in a different way, that could be like very like condescending or like, I hope you get clarity so you don't keep being ambiguous with me. But Luca is so sweet and so perfect. He's just caring about her. Like, I really hope you're so sincere. That's the biggest thing with Luca. I really hope you get clarity. I'm not pressuring you to pick me over Adrian or something. I know this is bothering you with being in an ambiguous state with Adrian, so I hope you get some clarity either way. And then Marinette kisses him on the cheek. Luca is so perfect. I cede my time. Okay, there you go.
All right, here's my response. Luca is a good guy. I just hate him.
Look, I think that's your normal response to it. It's fine. It's fine.
I will say Luca is a good guy in this special for sure.
Yeah, he's always a good guy, but
it's very obvious that he is we already know he's into Marinette, so.
Yeah, he's unrealistically patient with Marinette.
For sure.
Especially as a teenage boy.
But it's also funny too because he's like this go-to for Marinette to like sort of rant about the Adrian thing. Like, I guess it's nice that there's like that open and honest communication, but it probably sucks for Luca like a lot.
Yeah, it's probably a lot to go through, but I think at least he presents himself as being so in tune with his emotions and so chill that if that really is the case, which it's probably not, because I don't think you can really be that as a teenager.
Yeah.
Then I think he can process it all. But yeah, I think for his sake, like he's like, yeah, I hope you get some clarity. It's like, okay, you shouldn't push her, but like it's realistic to say like, hey, tell me what's going on here. Like, he absolutely can say that in this situation.
To be fair,
he probably should for his own health, I would say.
To be fair, I mean, we're dealing with like, yeah, Luca likes Marinette. She's cute. Everyone likes Marinette. But also, like, Adrian and Marinette are madly in love with each other. So, like, there's not really there's a lot of competition.
Delaney speaks for the fandom.
Yeah, I do.
Statement.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's, we don't know that Luca is so, like, he's like, I like hanging out with Marinette, she's cute. We don't know that he's so, like, deeply
Well,
in
he
love with her,
doesn't
like,
really seem to have any friends. He's like a year or
That's
two
true.
older
That's
than
true.
them, and he hangs out with his sister's friends.
Yeah, we never see him with any friends in his age. Maybe off screen, but we never.
Did we
seeing
ever decide if he goes to the same school as them?
It's a good question.
Okay,
Who
I couldn't
knows?
remember if we had picked.
I'll text.
decided.
I'll
Well,
text
as
Luke
far
and
as
find
we
out
know,
just- yeah.
this whole school is populated by the same 15 students.
Yeah, no,
so
we only see the same 15 people.
Who
So
knows?
yeah. Okay. Quickly, obviously we've talked about being a fake Avengers movie. We want to highlight how cinematic this feels. This special, I think we have very orchestral music compared
Yes.
to Ladybug
It was-
normally.
That definitely was something that I noticed right away was the music, was how different it was.
Yeah.
Granted, the music is always good.
differentiator. Music's always good, but and I'm not like claiming it's like so much better here because it's always good, but it was distinctive. I think is
Yes.
the key.
It was.
And
It was like when you hear music in a TV show versus when you hear music in like
in a
an
movie,
actual
yeah, they're
movie.
really going for
No,
the
it
movie
really
feel.
felt like a movie. Like I
Yeah.
was really like enthralled. Like it really felt like it's not only that it felt like it really delivered on being like a big event.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I think that like if I didn't know any better about like Thomas's like involvement in the movie, like I would have sworn that this was the movie. Like I did. I scoured the credits and I was like,
This
Okay.
is his version of the movie.
yeah.
I felt two cat transformations, one Ladybug transformation, and the second cat transformation has an orchestral version of the cat transformation music. That was the most distinctive thing to me because I think we heard the previous one and then this one, or maybe I don't know. But loved hearing the orchestral cat transformation and the cinematicness of the shots. Like I think it's specifically framed cinematically with the shots, and then
Yes.
also this animation itself is
especially
definitely stepped
the
up.
plane. Like when the plane took off
Yeah.
and these big cityscape scenes.
Yeah. Yeah, and then some of these New York shots, I think too, especially the shots in the rain, like they're clearly going for cinematic to match the Avengers kind of vibe, and I think they like strongly succeed. Is my take.
Agreed.
Yeah, nice. Okay, let's go through everything else we haven't talked about yet. Let me quickly go through the 3-page outline. Let's see how quickly we can go through it. By the way, Cosmo, Bug, and Astro Cat, we talked about we're going to get the space power-ups. We meet
yeah.
we do get the space power-ups.
They
we
were
see more
great.
of we see more of Astro Cat because he has to pretend he's still on the plane going back to Paris, so he has to fly back at the end to the plane.
Lord, I will say that suit was awesome, and I'm really excited to
Yes.
see Cosmo Bug.
I loved his, especially because we got to see his suit close up, and it's like looks like there's a galaxy in it. I was
it's
like, this
awesome.
is so cool.
Love both of their suits. Astro Cat has the same space helmet as Catra in the last season.
He does. It's
She-
true.
I know,
It's
and
great.
it's great.
It's great. It's great. Yeah, the scene of Mr. Pigeon 51st time. Since Paris doesn't want us, we'll just go to the moon, just like that Jules Verne book. Okay, I don't know why we're suddenly talking about Jules Verne, but yeah, he's a
All
book
right.
about going to the moon.
Space Tower.
I think this is
We're
the
gonna add it
second
to Space
Jules
Dumpsters.
Verne drop.
Yeah, we
and I'm
might have
like-
referenced it before. Yeah,
And I'm like, I get it. He's like the one French author. Can we talk about Victor Hugo? Like,
hey,
calm
that
down.
is, there's a lot of French. Okay, that's a lot of French authors, but we do. Yeah, in space, no one can hear you. Coo, says Mr.
God.
Pigeon. That's an amazing line. Is that a dubbed line or is that the same thing in French? Because is that in space?
No,
No,
I don't
is that a saying or is it maybe exists in French too? That whole intro scene. Oh my god, like it's perfect.
It was
Yes.
perfect.
Very much harkens back to the Time Tagger where we get that whole hey, we're fighting Mr. Pigeon for the 20th, 30th
Yeah.
time. But
We're up to
so
51 now. So
Now we're up to
mark it
51.
on the calendar.
keep memeing about this, please. Keep me like
Please.
all throughout season 4, please. Like, let's do it. It's so good. We didn't talk about Kat giving Ladybug the yellow
I
rose,
love
symbolizing
this.
friendship. Well, we already had the play-by-play of this scene, which we talked about in the preview podcast. But Kat's like, I tried to give you all these roses, but they're all romantic associated. Here's the yellow rose. It means friendship.
So
Yeah.
good.
But I do love his moment at the end where he's like, you know what? I'm pretty awesome too. I deserve flowers.
God,
yeah,
I
and
know.
then
Yes.
he kisses his bicep as
Yes.
that
Terrible.
great. That's a great Cat moment.
I
Um,
loved
so.
it.
Cat's usually not like ostentatious, and I guess his shtick is being austin, but that was like kind of charmingly.
It was.
I feel
like
we're
cute.
Like I really enjoyed that moment.
I guess the fangirls think he's always charming, but this was a different.
This was actually
bit of different
charming.
tone. Yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm.
And he and Ladybug says, "I already know you're the best partner ever, Cat Noir." So we start off kind of on this incredible high for the two of them, and then we challenge the Cat and Ladybug relationship, and hopefully we end up at a better place. A lot of Marinette still fangirling over Adrian, despite them. A lot of talk of the cologne. I wasn't into all the. Adrian
I wasn't either. I was like,
talk.
I will have to tell y'all. I have a secret. I wear cologne, and the cologne that I wear is called it's Noir.
Yes.
Look, this is, if you're unaware, Delaney has fully embraced her Cat Noir identity. And is Burrito Noir on Twitch, and so Delaney is now Cat, and so that includes your cologne too. Gotcha. That's good. It's perfect.
Did you catch my curse?
No, I didn't catch your. I don't know if it was audible, but I'll write it. All right, that inspired such passion. I like it.
I hate my life.
This is a self-imposed identity, I'll say.
It is a self-imposed identity. This is true.
Yeah, we talked about the sock. Okay, I punted on the sock puppets. So the Marinette's
I was like, we're only doing this so Dylan can talk about the sock puppets.
Marinette's class. It seems like an entire class effort to make this crappy sock puppet.
It's so bad.
It was amazing.
No.
Okay.
The Sock Lafayette and Sock Washington for the French. By the way, we didn't mention French-American Friendship Week is the framing for this entire thing, which is obviously it's very unrealistically such a big thing in New York at this point.
Yes.
At one point, the villain is like, "I didn't mean to sabotage French-American Friendship Week." Like that's the worst line of the special, but that's okay. I didn't mean you. What
knew what you were doing.
Who cares about French-American Friendship Week? Oh my goodness. But apparently the president is involved in French-American, but they're,
oh my god, my wife didn't realize it was the president. She was like, man, the mayor of New York has a lot of power.
Well, that would be a more reasonable assumption, but no, it's the president of America.
I was in tears. I was like, oh my god.
I love that in Ladybug, fake Michelle Obama is the president, and Rick and Morty, fake Obama is still the president.
It's
so,
true.
we're living in all better universes.
Yes.
They're sock puppet film. But the best line is, "Adrian, you're our Sock Washington," during her impassioned speech. It's pretty amazing. Miss Bustier is pregnant, and Miss Mendeleev goes.
They were so mean to Miss Mendeleev.
I know.
Yeah, I definitely kind of felt like there's a Miss Mendeleev arc kind of missing from the special, like Thomas kind of noted. I feel like we could have done more with her. But this does fit into what we saw from her in Kwame Buster, I think.
Yes.
So I feel like we could see more from Miss Mendeleev. But yeah, no, the whole you're immediately going to bed at like 6 p.m. when we arrive. That was bad. But they sneak out anyway, so that's fine. So Gabriel wants Lafayette's eagle talon necklace. I've noted this line from Natalie just because it's a weird dub line, but she just unknowingly offered you an unexpected opportunity. I don't know.
He was gonna go anyway. Does it matter?
Yeah,
but I think because they discussed that,
they talk about the logic of it, which I appreciated, why he needs to make an excuse. That was nice. We talked about the Kagami scene. I wanted to note so a lot of Lafayette in this, which I guess makes sense. But a lot of people getting Hamilton vibes. I got Hamilton from Marinette. Marinette's like, New York. I'm gonna go New York with Adrian Agreste. Yes. And I was like, New York. I can be a new man from the Hamilton.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know if that was an intentional reference, but I got those vibes from that. As friends, of course. Okay.
As
Marinette.
friends.
Yeah. We talked about the cat remote. Plog's excited to go to America for all these different types of American cheese. But
my
not
wife
like
pointed this out. He has like an adult magazine, but it's cheese.
Right?
Yeah, is this his yeah, I don't like I can't
and
say
the cheeses that he listed off, I was like, you can't get those in Paris? Really?
Why
also,
why are we
no
excited
one should be this excited for American cheese. Like, I eat American cheese every day. No one should be this excited about it.
It's not literal, like there's a cheese called American cheese, but he lists off different types of cheese that apparently
he lists off American cheese.
American cheese is one. I mean, it is good. Like, we like American cheese.
It's okay.
Okay.
But Lord.
But he has all the fancy ones in France already. Talk about the Akuma
He's gonna
alert.
be so disappointed.
Probably we don't get the follow up on that. I want to. We do get the one dead wife garden scene.
Yes.
Okay. This is an important reaction from my wife. So
yes,
I have it paused for some reason, and she's like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, this is the dead wife garden." She's like, "What?" She goes, "I thought it was a metaphorical dead wife garden." No, there's a literal dead wife garden.
So she heard about the dead wife garden, and a reasonable assumption would be that that's metaphorical,
but it's not.
No, it's not.
It's not. I was like, no.
Amazing.
This is the actual dead wife garden.
Literally, why do you think we call it that? There's a dead wife in the garden.
This is a literal
dead wife garden.
Exists.
Oh my god, that's great.
She was shook. She was like, "What?"
I don't. Does that make her more or less likely to watch all of Ladybug?
Unsure.
I want to note the scene. It's pretty typical. I feel like this is the most explicit Gabriel has been about his intentions, though. He says, and to make the wish that will bring you back to me. Usually he's cagey about that, but no, he spells it out here. Like, make a wish, bring you back to life. Like, we got it already, but okay. Now,
but he said it.
He said it out loud, because it's only ever really, like, implied that that's what his wish is.
Yeah, I was trying to remember if he ever said anything this explicit. I mean, he might have said something kind of explicit, but definitely not this explicit.
Like, he literally usually just goes in there and says something dramatic about getting the Miraculouses back.
Well, and the only, like, I guess, indication or clue as to what his intention is he's like, I need to get the Miraculouses so I can fix everything. And I'm like, okay, so you need to bring your wife. Like, we're always, like, just assuming that it's
right.
wife.
He talks about the wish here, which is So the fact that at this point we're not being cagey about it, we're ready for this to come to a head, whether that be in the season 4 premiere or finale or in the between. Yeah. We're ready to address it. Talked about Luca on the plane. There's some good quality stuff on the plane we haven't talked about yet. Chloe's going to go sit in first class. So Adrian's like, he's in-flight magazine features Ladybug and Cat, and then he turns on in entertainment, has the animated movie that we referenced before, then there's a song, I guess, maybe that was in the movie or something, so he cannot escape it. Here's some all-time great Marinette stuttering moments. Marinette's seat number is baby, 32B, or did she say P?
I think it was
but is B in the, like, I feel like she's not in the second row or something.
No. The letter is for, like, the actual seat.
Oh, it's the seat. Oh, you're right. 30. Yeah, you're right. Okay, B. Yeah, I heard P, but she's not gonna say baby if it's P, right? But yeah, that's the fact you start with baby. But here's the next one.
Why?
She says, "I'm gonna go sit next to my husband. I mean, friends."
So
that's right. You are.
God, and then she.
That's what the fandom's saying. Yeah, you are gonna go sit next to her.
The best part is Adrian keeps calling her out on the dumb stuff she's saying.
Yeah.
Okay, well then Adrian falls on top of Marinette, so we get one of those moments. And then Marinette's like, "Oh, it's so hot, it's a warming seat." He's like, it's a regular seat."
God, and then she's
called
like,
out.
"I leave."
Called out from Adrian, but he's so sweet about it, so it's fine.
And then she has to go sit with Mr. Damocles.
Yeah, and then Damocles is like.
Also, where did he get the thing of popcorn on the plane?
Popcorn is not a plane food. What are you doing?
And then he dumps it. I'm sorry, him like leaning on her and then just dumping the popcorn. Hilarious.
Yes, but also I'm upset about that popcorn being wasted.
Well, I was like, why do you
put the popcorn on the plane?
What?
Where did he get it?
You watch movies on the plane.
Did he like pack it in his like carry-on?
They must have given it to him on.
Oh wait, we're talking about the most underrated part of the special, which is Adrian's bodyguard. He's so flipped out about what's going on.
Yeah, so we get the saga of Gorilla, and so he plays.
So bad because whenever Gabriel was like, "You'll take your bodyguard with you," I was so excited for him until I realized that he's afraid of flying, and I was like, "Oh no, you poor baby!"
But it wasn't just flying; he was literally listening to it the entire time.
Yes.
So funny.
Yeah, well, I think maybe so he puts up the Relax app. It's like, run the 10. How afraid are you? I need 10, and it's like, what's the level of relaxing? You need 10. Okay, and then he chills out to that.
And you are a dolphin.
Yeah, you are a dolphin. He's into it. Okay, so that's good.
Funny.
And is the notion that he was like just really liked it, so he kept doing it to de-stress him during the trip. So he stayed in. Is that what's going on?
Unsure.
Because we cut to it at funny times too. Like I think the timing is on point.
Yes.
Once before like a break, and then
it's also just really interesting that he like. His job is to be Adrian's bodyguard, but he does not do any bodyguarding.
He did not do any bodyguarding
in New York.
I guess the generous interpretation, he's being chill and wants to let Adrian do what he wants.
And he's focusing on like calming down after the long plane ride.
I think he's just still freaked out.
But also he wasn't on the plane back.
Yeah, what happened to him? Yeah, that's true. Adrian leaves on the plane back. He's still in the room. That's so sad.
He just got left there.
Poor Ella. Rose and Julek are like cuddling on the plane.
Yes.
Should be noted. That was a pretty good moment.
My wife was like, "Are they gay?" And I was like, "Yes."
She doesn't know by now about Rose and Julek. That's sad.
I thought she
Everyone needs to know about Rose and Julek.
I agree.
We're watching either the sunrise or the sunset. Adrian's like, "You've got something, Marinette." Yeah, they're in your hair.
God, I was like, "Gosh."
Adrian, the all-time troll moment for Adrian.
Yep.
I love Alia commenting on what's she doing with her arms? She's doing the safety landing that was pretty good from Alia. Their Operation New York they're doing, which I guess they end up teaming up with Jess and Aeon.
Yep.
And then Adrian eventually is sincere and thanks Marinette and hugs her, so that's good.
That was so sweet.
It was.
Yeah. We talked about the techno pirate hijacking scene. I think we covered everything there. In New York, I appreciated this. Thank you, Thomas and crew, because we get to New York and the first shot we see is a Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
How else are you supposed to know?
Yeah, that's true.
I would have been so lost. It was titled New York, but they weren't in New York to start with.
Yeah,
so if we're gonna end up there, you got I didn't know where we were flying to. Thank you for showing the Statue of Liberty.
We appreciate
it. Did we have 0 shots of the blanking on the name, but the other that's it though. No Central Park.
No, we saw Central Park.
Yeah, but I mean, we're very focused on the Statue of Liberty.
Like we see the Louvre, we see the Eiffel Tower.
No, but we're in the Louvre sometimes.
Sometimes we're in the Louvre. We see what is it?
Empire State Building.
Yeah.
For us being in New York the entire time, we saw an awful lot of the Eiffel Tower.
Yes,
True.
as we should.
I guess to remind us that this is a show, or that
Set
they're
in
from Paris.
And that the Eiffel Tower is integral. We need to be reminded.
Yes.
Random line from Marinette. She says, "Watching sunsets is typical for friends to do on a plane."
Oh.
Okay, Marinette. With the hotel. Oh, there's a gag of Marinette and Adrian are such idiots that they cannot get through a sliding door.
I love this.
I was like, guys, and it kept happening.
It happened twice, and the second time was painstakingly long.
It was.
That they're trapped
really
there.
long.
But I love that because I was thinking about it, and I was like, have we ever seen like sliding doors for them in Paris?
Maybe,
and I was like,
maybe it's a cultural thing.
Yeah, and I was like, they don't understand how to work.
So stupid.
It was great.
To be fair, this is me every time I have to go through a revolving door. I'm like,
that is hard though. The sliding door opens on its own. They couldn't get it working.
I know. I was like, guys.
Maybe it's because they're heroes and they have
because they're
magic on.
Yeah, they're magic.
The tech can't see them, but they didn't do that. No, they're just. I think we're just fully embracing that Marinette and Adrian are just complete idiots.
Like they're so dumb.
They are.
And then Adrian said something stupid like, "I wouldn't mind being stuck with you. You're such a great friend." Like,
because
she's
such a great friend.
What is it? She says the second time they get stuck, she's like, "Oh, like, we keep getting like." Stuck
We're
together.
Oh, I mean, stuck together. Like she says something ridiculous.
Yep. Frustrating.
They're so stupid.
Oh, they're called little croissants.
Yeah, they call the French kids the little croissants.
My wife screamed. She was like, "That is the cutest thing!" Like she was obsessed.
It's pretty cute. And then we're gonna babysit some tourists and their socks. They keep talking about the socks.
And they fall out of Marinette's suitcase.
Yeah, it's pretty good. The boy winking at Sabrina. I like that we get some.
Oh, that was good. And then he comes downstairs to get her. So good.
Yeah, it's nice. We don't do much more than that, but it's nice there. We forgot the beginning of Hot Dog Dan. It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's Hot Dog Dan.
Heck yes, it's Hot Dog Dan.
Yep, he's there. Alia and Nino's powers. They get the hamster voice. The pitched
some of them
voice.
Got some like really cool stuff. Like,
and then they just got their voices changed.
Yeah,
could have done that in an app or something.
Could have done that in an app or something.
Wow, way to ruin the magic of Hot Dog Dan.
Look, you're the Hot Dog Dan's believer here.
You know, okay? I won't lie though. I think Jess and Aeon challenge Adrian and Marinette on stupidity.
Why?
When they're like, we'll just trap them and with super villains.
Oh, yeah.
Look, they're gonna get the supervillain that's like, I'm only gonna terrorize people who have no one in their lives.
No
okay,
one who
sure.
loves him.
No one who
whoa.
loves it, and then it's like, oh, I love you. It's like, okay, this is, and then all you need are like, at this point, we'll try anything.
But
Yeah,
That's
they're
what
like, that's so stupid. It might work.
It has to work. But I also really appreciate that, like, Alia and Nino have two totally different objectives, but supposedly they're gonna come from, like, it's gonna have the same outcome. Like,
Also, can we
Alia-
talk about? Okay, let's compare how stupid these people are. So, Alia's like, "Hey, I forgot to get a picture. Can you go get it for me?" And she's like, "Yeah, sure." Nino takes his headphones off, hides them behind his back, and he's like, "Adrian, bro, like, I think I left my headphones. Can you go look for them?" "Yeah, sure." Like, you stupid! Y'all are so dumb. Like,
Nino, like, it's such a low effort, like, lie, but he knows Adrian, he's completely taking advantage of Adrian's sincerity. Like, it's like, we're just gonna, I just know he'll go do that. It's
and then they
fine.
get in the room and they're both like, "Oh, Adrian, Marinette, like, y'all are so stupid. Like, y'all, like, stupid."
Yeah. Stupid, yes. Well, what else from this? We have a lot of stuff when they're at the museum. Alia was excited for, Dean Gates.
yes.
So, yeah, there you go. We had, so let's go over Techno Pirate's names. So he starts off as, he's Microchip, aka Microchip, so that's a obvious pun. That's his real name. And, it turns into Techno Pirate is his normal supervillain name. The first time he's akumatized, he's Techlonizer. And then the second time he's akumatized, he's Miraculonizer. Okay,
Incredible.
there you go.
Wow.
A lot of names. We're explaining the Statue of Liberty. We talked about the whole safe inside the thing. I hope we're not wrong about that. If that's a real thing, we're going to get a lot of corrections.
It's true.
And
I've had
a lot of transformations. I think, yeah, we have a whole fight scene here with the
Well, I think the
Technolizer
only thing we haven't really talked about is the very subtle nature of the new Miraculous.
Yeah.
So, what do you mean subtle?
So, like, she's just like the power to free people from preventing them from reaching their true potential. Like, that's not really a superpower.
Yeah, so it's interesting. Yeah, well, so first of all, Hawkmoth's like in the car. He's like, Lafayette. He's pretty cool, but I bet he's too cool to not have had a Miraculous. Is basically what he was saying. Like, way to not be nice to the memory of Lafayette. I mean, and then Leary. So we meet Leary, the Kwame, and she comes out. She's like, "Where's Lafayette?" Yeah, she's saying a bunch of names for him.
Yeah.
And she says the power to free people from preventing their true potential. And then we see him, we see Miraculonizer use liberation powers on all of the United Heroes, and we see, Majestia knocks over some buildings, and she does the moon stuff with the nukes. Doorman can go anywhere he wants, but yeah, it's an interesting power for sure.
Yeah.
It's very effective in this specific situation.
Yes, I mean, I would say, like, in the case of, like, it's another reason why I really like that Jess gets it is because Jess and Aeon are kind of going through this journey of, like, we want to be taken seriously as superheroes. Like, we're not just kids, but then they're also afraid. Like, when it comes down to it's just us versus the adults going crazy. And so, and that's part of that, like, kind of like living up to her true potential. And so letting go of that fear, which is why it's really cool that she ends up with it. But it's just a very, like, it's, and granted, we also assume, like, there is some sort of, like, when you have the Miraculous, like, your abilities are enhanced, like, them able to run across buildings and, jump and, like, everything all their physical abilities they're able to do. But, like, this is a very, like, this isn't like Cataclysm or Miraculous Ladybug. This is a very subtle ability.
Yeah, it definitely very subtle. It seems like a little bit of a fringe ability, and it's not like an enhancement or anything. It feels more like an akumatized ability. Like Hawkmoth would grant someone of supervillain this power because they're someone who doesn't reach their potential or something, So, but it's its own Miraculous, and if we're gonna get into Miraculous's number 50 to 100, we're gonna have to get into some more fringe powers.
Which, granted, I think this is really interesting as an ability, like.
I guess it's based on Lafayette, maybe?
I don't know. Like, well, I think it's more, I don't know. Like, one, this is the perfect Miraculous for Hawkmoth for him to achieve his goals. But then also, like, I don't know, it's interesting. Like, I don't, like, we are running out of superpowers. Like, but at the same time, like, are we? Like, they could have done flight. Like, I mean, it's an eagle. They could have done anything. And I think it's really I'm curious to see what we're going to get into. Granted, I think this also has more to do with Unify, maybe. Like, are we going to have more subtle nuances to when we unify with different... Granted,
combined with other things.
Granted, this also has more... Like, are we going to end up with another Miraculous box? Because we have our one Miraculous box.
Yeah, well, it's the monks at the end have another Miraculous box.
Exactly. So well, I meant, like, our heroes, because...
Is it going to be in play, kind of, in our show?
Yeah.
And so we'll see. But it's a good point that it's a fringe power.
We have to assume in Shanghai we're going to be dealing with the monks and... like another miracle box.
Yeah, maybe it would be a third miracle box.
Yeah.
Or are they all called miracle box, or is our box called the miracle box? Anyway, we'll learn these things. But it's a good point that it's kind of this subtle power. And if we see Jess again, which from the way Thomas is talking on Twitter, he's like, if you want to see them again, make your voice heard. So it doesn't sound like it's planned at the moment, but maybe it is. Maybe it's a spoiler prevention thing. If we it would be interesting to see how she applies it in the future. Yeah, because we kind of see this one specific use here. On all the United Heroes. I wanted to note, we talked about the scene when Marinette chases after Adrian with all the dramaticness going on. At the end, she says, Adrian, I love you. So she does acknowledge her feelings because she's been repressing these romantic feelings, and then she acknowledges it. And we are left, so it's like, where do we leave off with Marinette's arc, heading into the Shanghai special and then into season 4? Ollie at the end talks about how it's like, what are you going to do or something? And Marinette seems unsure. She doesn't answer. Yeah. So it's a little bit ambiguous where Marinette is. At the very least, she has had a moment where she has freed herself from this kind of repression of her romantic feelings for Adrian. We'll see if that leads to her potentially trying to explore them again more in the future, or it's probably a slow climbing back to the place
where we're just going to be unrequited love crying for like half the season.
Yeah.
Is it going to be a thing where Marinette is full on, like, she's gotten past her awkward crush and now she's like just a real, like, I want to be with you kind of crush?
God, wouldn't that be amazing?
And yet Adrian and Kagami are dating, right? And so, but and Luca, we'll see how Luca comes into play. He better come into play. So I don't know. We'll see. Okay. It's an interesting place to leave off with her. It does feel it was definitely not a big ending for this arc.
Well, I wasn't ready. Like, honestly, I was not anticipating how much this was going to tie into everything we've been watching. So I'm really excited for season 4.
Yeah, no, it's one of the biggest points for me is like, this is such a good entry between seasons 3 and 4. And it's like, what does this mean for what season 4 is about? Because I really feel like this is approaching a lot of stuff that I thought would take a lot longer for this is serialized. Like, this takes place exactly after season 3. This is the most serialization we've ever gotten from Ladybug. It's a good point. Based right after the season 3 finale. So that's very exciting too. That's
right after it. The only thing is, like, I guess they didn't really talk about. I mean, there's elements that they left out, which is totally fine because I don't think it has any place in this, like, special. Like, the fact that, like, everything that took place in the finale, essentially, like, we don't talk about, Marinette being the guardian.
The guardian, and I think the repaired Peacock Miraculous. Those are the two
we don't talk about that. We don't talk about, like, the whole situation with Chloe and Queen Bee. So
that's true. That is not talked about.
Yeah. So, like, that all gets left out, but again, I don't think it has any place in this special. But it is like, it was like as soon, it's interesting that one of the very first shots of this, like, special is Marinette holding the Miraculous box, the new one.
Yeah.
On top of, like, the Eiffel Tower or wherever she was. Like, I was like, as soon as I saw that, I was just like, this is going to be something different, and I don't know if I'm ready for any of this.
Awesome.
Just because that, like, credits, that, just, like, acknowledging that right away is, again, like, more serialization than we've ever had before.
Yeah, and like, honestly, like, listen, Thomas, like, if you want to have a 2-hour movie special, we're here for it. Like.
Yeah, I think at Jeremy Zag and
at Zag,
at everyone at Zag and stuff, we look. This is we'd love, honestly, if season 4 was just like a series of 10 specials once a month or something, I would be fine with that.
Same.
Instead of like 26 episodes. Like this was like more than the sum of 3 episodes for me.
No, same. I mean, it was hard to have expectations for this because we didn't know what we were getting. This blew me away. Like, I loved every minute of it. It was truly an experience. And like, I've always loved Ladybug. We like to make fun of it, but like, this was incredible. Like, this is, we joke about Ladybug, but I mean, Ladybug. I mean, this is one of the most exciting things we've seen all year.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. I think I'm yeah. Look, if campaign for this as best episode nominee, I'm here for it.
Yeah, same.
I'm right there.
Let's do it. Okay. Yeah. Quickly, we mostly mentioned everything else, but just to acknowledge a lot of stuff. Yeah, the stuff with Aeon going to Marinette and talking to her about Marinette says I can't be Ladybug without him, and she goes onto the plane, which is super ridiculous. She catches up to the plane that's leaving.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous, but it's because
she's
a superpowered robot.
Android.
I buy that she
AI,
can do it. It's just
it.
it's very yeah. It's yeah. But and then Adrian again at the end leaves to go back to the plane
So
to
funny.
fly back to the
It's
plane,
amazing.
presumably still in flight. All the stuff with the missiles.
How did he
There's
get
a great.
out?
Aeon, when she went into the plane, she just knocked a hole out of the.
But then
I
the
guess she
plane would be
repaired
going
it.
down.
No, apparently not.
I thought it was
she must
just
have
the
analyzed the
emergency door.
plane. Yeah, she must. Yeah, maybe just that, and she probably repaired it.
Well,
at
then
the
it
end.
should really be.
It's fine. It's fine.
No one noticed. There's no driver.
Also,
didn't
it's
notice.
probably
It's fine.
an autonomous jet. It's fine.
Yeah, it might have been
Just like
autonomous.
the
We didn't see the
car.
pilot.
Yeah, just like the car. Exactly.
I think Holodad might have been driving.
Holodad was
Yeah,
flying
Dang
the
it,
piloting the
Holodad.
plane. Yeah, thank you, Holodad. Blessed Holodad. A lot of I was going to say the really cool shot of Sparrow dodging the missiles when they're all coming
Yes.
at her,
Yes.
and
Also,
then
again,
Ladybug like
The
grabbing
skateboard.
Sparrow.
I was obsessed.
All the Sparrow stuff was really good.
Sparrow's great.
I'm here for Eagle at the end. I'm not but I'm glad we did see a lot of Sparrow.
Yeah,
too,
I
but
like
I'm
Sparrow,
here for
but no, Eagle is great. Like,
I'm here for Eagle.
I
moving
stand
forward.
Jess.
Jess was very strong. Cat comes back and he and Ladybug hug. Okay, that was good. Hawkmoth just threatening to start a world war. He literally
Fine.
says, "Oh my goodness,
Casual.
we covered it," but we covered it.
Sweet baby.
Sweet baby. Oh no. Oh no.
Oh, can we just briefly talk about how Gabriel traveled with Akumas and butterflies?
Oh, that's true. He brought his own butterflies to New York, right? Don't you? It's the problem is what you just said is very associated with real butterflies. So Delaney's been triggered. by
Oh,
this.
I'm extremely no. He didn't need to bring them because since that's just what butterflies frickin' look like, he just had
Just
to go
go-
to New York.
We were
Butterflies.
robbed of a scene of Hawkmoth going to Central Park and capturing some butterflies.
Butterflies! Oh my
Oh,
goodness!
that would have been so good.
Oh, I actually would have had I wouldn't have finished the special because my brain would have popped out of my head.
I'm
God.
broken
You wouldn't have
right
been
now.
here. Yeah, maybe it's for the best.
Yeah,
You
I wouldn't have been here because I would have been dead.
We need a lot of fan art of Hawkmoth frolicking in Central Park, catching
God,
butterflies.
I hate my life.
Like-
Ugh.
Trying to get
You can't say butterflies; it just triggers me.
He's Papillon, he's butterfly,
God.
so it's just in general. Ladybug says, Jess, you can keep the eagle. And then we get these shots of all the previous night owls, and sparrows. And it's like the sparrow becomes the night owl. And then there's a new sparrow in each iteration. And it's pretty cool. And then basically they say, they're like, okay, we should be who we really are. And so Barbara's
It's
gonna
gay superheroes.
be out with who she is, and same with Jess, as she's the eagle now. And then they embrace, and there's the 4-way pound it. It's great. Hawkmoth's like, I know there's other Miraculouses out there, and I'm gonna go find all of them.
You're so annoying, Hawkmoth. But I do
Plug.
like the setup for Shanghai.
Yeah, it's a good segue into Shanghai, I think. Astro Cat goes back. Yep. The class makes a banner for it because Adrian, even though he was still there, he has to fly back to the plane, and the class is like, "Oh, I'm so sad he had to fly back." So they make a banner saying they're gonna miss him.
Aww.
So cute.
yeah. And it's on the news. Chloe's like, "No, I'm not having fun."
No.
And so Eagle proposes they make the new heroes in the U.S. and the monk seems to be into it, which is like pretty shocking that the monks are just gonna instantly be about. I mean, they've lost they're from another time period, so maybe they'll latch on to this. They're like, we're gonna start a new generation of heroes in the United States. April has posted already existing fan art of Hawkmoth catching butterflies with the net. So
it's in the Discord.
No, I put it in the outline.
It's in the outline.
Oh, I closed it already. Let me open it.
If ever had it open, but
I did have it open at one time.
There.
So already exists this fan art. Let's see more of it, specifically in Central Park now to fulfill its headcanon. Yeah, okay.
Oh, geez, this is like, what? This is
Also,
amazing.
it's like Hawkmoth and Animal Crossing on the bug off.
This is so funny. His little smile is like the worst
His
thing I've
smile,
ever
yeah.
seen.
He has to be very happy about it.
This
yeah.
is beautiful.
It's beautiful. You have the source on this?
Yeah, where's
April?
the source?
Yeah, it came from Twitter. Let me.
I'm shocked.
Okay. Well, I'll post it in the show notes if at the end if April can find it. Okay. So there you go, Delaney. I bet you basically gave your final thoughts before, and then I continued to talk about the special. But any other closing thoughts?
I just loved it. Like, I was just completely blown away. I really enjoyed this. I'm really excited for season 4, and I'm really excited for the Shanghai special.
Yeah, that is very exciting. We'll see if we get it. I assume not this year, but who knows?
I know.
It would be. It's, honestly, like it's Shanghai special now, considering this special, definitely the most anticipated. I think like Ladybug thing ever or something. I mean, the finales are always anticipated because they're concluding arcs we've seen and stuff. But I'll take this over definitely all the finales we've gotten so far.
Same. Yeah.
I mean, season 3 finale is very good too.
Yeah.
April, what are your final thoughts?
I mean, I have the same thoughts as everyone else because this was incredible. I don't know what I expected, but this was more than that. It was overwhelming, and I'm so excited for the Shanghai special. I'm even more excited for season 4 just because there's so much potential, just so much.
Yeah, I agree so much. It was so fun. Loved it. Gonna check out see if we get the normal paced version on the Disney Channel repeat. We'll see.
I want to watch it in French.
Yeah,
I mean, too.
Unfortunately, the group we usually talk about does not seem to be doing anything anymore for the translation. Right. So we'll see if someone translates it. But yeah, that'd be fun to watch it in French too. We talked about a few things we'd like to see in French. This Hawkmoth art April found is from @MissBurb on Twitter.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. There you go. Let us know what you thought of the special, of our discussion on the special. Overly animated to find everywhere, all of our contact links. Make sure you subscribe for future Ladybug podcasts. Check out our YouTube, youtube.com/overlyanimated, and consider supporting us via Patreon, patreon.com/overlyanimated. Thanks to all of our current patrons, especially our patron of the podcast, Hugh. And thanks as always to our patron executive producers, Ryan, Steve, Alex, Beatrice, Hugh, Michael, Needle, and Phonician. We'll be back about a month probably to talk about Ladybug. Might be a format shakeup or something. So we'll see when we're back for more Ladybug. As of now, there's no news on next Ladybug airing. But we'll stay tuned for that. And that's been fun. 2-hour podcast, I think, about.
Yep.
We'll see after edits, but appropriate for the special. People, yep. April and Delaney were like, it's going to be so long. I was like, I think we can fit it in.
We were like, it's going to be 9 hours.
There you go, 2 hours. I feel like it's appropriate.
We did it.
I think it was good. We did it. Yay! Thank you.
You guys did it. Yeah.
You did it. Oh, the listener, you did it.
You got me
getting
in.
this far.
We're proud of you. If you've made it this far, please enter the secret code. No.
If they've made it this far, they'll talk about that Hawkmoth fan art. That'll be their tell.
That's it.
Yeah,
that's how we'll know.
The end of the pod meme. Okay, so we'll see you next time for Ladybug. Thanks for listening, guys. Bye.
Bye.